So more than likely, this is going to be the last video of 2024. We have a couple days left in the year, so we might as well finish it off with a classic. We got NHL Imperialism, but we're doing a fantasy draft edition. I'm going to be doing a fantasy draft of the NHL. We're going to have all these teams go against each other, and we're going to see who can come out on top. But obviously, there's one thing we have to do immediately, the fantasy draft. So we'll go ahead and randomize the fantasy draft list here, and it looks like the first overall pick is going to be going to the Winnipeg Jets. The second overall pick is going to the Washington Capitals, Carolina, Minnesota. Why does this look like the NHL standings? Like, this top four right here is very close to what the standings actually are. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to simulate the entire first round here. Of course, Connor McDavid is going to be going number one. Number two is going to be Quinn Hughes to the Washington Capitals. So he's going pretty high up. Nathan McKinnon to the Carolina Hurricanes. So Cale Makar is going to be dropping to number four. But Kaprizov's actually going to head back to Minnesota. Okay, where's Cale Makar? He should be getting drafted pretty high here. And it looks like he's going to be going fifth overall to the Calgary Flames. So Calgary's getting themselves a franchise defenseman. Austin Matthews is going to drop to the 6th overall pick. He's off to the Islanders. Barkov's going to head over to the San Jose Sharks with the 7th overall pick. With the 8th, we're going to be seeing Leon Draisaitl join the Boston Bruins. Jack Hughes with the 9th overall pick is going to join the Anaheim Ducks. And then Mikko Rantanen is going to round out our top 10. He's off to the Tampa Bay Lightning. So here's what the rest of the first round is going to be looking like. I'm a bit surprised Connor Bedard is going to be going 12th overall. Then again, a young player who has medium franchise potential. That really shouldn't be too much of a surprise. When it comes to goaltending, the first goaltender selected was Igor Shesterkin going over Connor Hellebuyck. And the only reason for that is Igor Shesterkin is younger. Like me personally, if I'm trying to win a Stanley Cup and I only have 1 year to do so, I'm probably taking Connor Hellebuyck. Bro's been elite. And then Celebrini going to round out the first round. He's going to be going with the 32nd overall pick to the Florida Panthers. 86 overall, highly potential. Bro's been amazing this season, but that's what our first round's looking like. So I'm just going to go ahead, simulate the rest of the draft here. And before every single matchup, of course, we'll take a quick look at our teams. So we might as well find out who's going to be involved in our first matchup. We're going to go ahead and spin the wheel here. And it looks like we're going to be starting off with one of the worst teams in the entire league, if not the worst, the Buffalo Sabres. This team is just a poverty franchise, but maybe not anymore. We did just do a fantasy draft. So Buffalo, you might be in the dumpster right now, but you know what? Things are going to change for you. It looks like we're going to be heading northwest, and I believe that immediately leads you into a matchup. And that's exactly what's going to be happening here, because our first matchup is going to have the Buffalo Sabres taking on the Toronto Maple Leafs. So looking at the Buffalo Sabres, they got a lot of great talent. Elias Pettersson, Artemi Panarin, Kempe, Quinton Byfield, Philip Deneau. However, there's definitely one thing lacking on this team. You have very weak wingers. Like the fact that Alexander Kerfoot is your second line right winger right now, definitely not a great sign. I mean, having Andre Burakovsky on the second line, you got yourself a superstar right there, but I mean, the winger depth is definitely lacking here. When it comes to the defense, Pellick and Lane Hudson are going to lead the left side. You also got Nick Leddy here. Andre's going to be on the third pairing. Alex Vlasic, Connor Clifton. The right side is certainly lacking with this team. Like the fact that you have multiple left defensemen playing on the right side, definitely not a good look for you guys. Then when it comes in between the pipes, you got Stolars, you got Montembeault. Not the greatest goaltending tandem of all time, but you know what? Stolars look pretty solid this season, so we'll see if he steps up in these big games. Now looking at this Toronto Maple Leafs team right here, very different than the Toronto Maple Leafs team we see today. This team is atrocious. Like, that's the nicest way I can say it. Granlund, 87 overall. Timo Meier, 87 overall. Jason Zucker is your number one left winger. This team is bad. They must have an incredible defense here. And they don't even really have that. Roman Josi, Mackenzie Weegar, Jacob Milton, Keandre Miller. I mean, that's pretty solid. Like, you have four amazing players. Then you have Connor Murphy and then a 77 overall right here. So, I mean, that's not the best in the world, but maybe you have a superstar goaltender, and you do have that. You have Jake Ottinger, 91 overall. But no, this team just does not look that good. Like, the forward core is atrocious. Like, you have no star players here. You don't even have depth. Buffalo, you actually might have a chance to win a game here. Then again, you're playing the Toronto Maple Leafs, so you're almost guaranteed to win it. So here we go. Buffalo taking on the Toronto Maple Leafs. Buffalo should be the heavy favorite here, but then again, they're the Buffalo Sabres. They're picking up two massive goals in the second period. We're going to see Kerfoot and O'Reilly find the back of the net, but Leeson is going to be picking up one goal for the Toronto Maple Leafs, so they still are in this game. But you know what? That's not going to last too long here. Adrian Kempe is going to be picking up a massive goal. Buffalo's got a commanding 3-1 lead, and I don't think they're going to be turning this one over. So I think it's safe to say that we could end this game, but maybe not. Jason Zucker's picking up a massive goal. We're going to be entering the final minutes here in a pretty close game. So there's a minute 30 left in this one. It's a one-goal game. Toronto and Buffalo. This one's going down to the wire. So Toronto's pulled the goaltender. Taylor Hall's bringing the puck into the offensive zone. He's going to be turning it over after a massive hit. Buffalo should have this game because there's no way they missed the empty net here. They're going to take a really tough shot. You could have had a much easier shot there. What is this team doing? No, I hope Buffalo loses now. Buffalo, you better lose. Toronto, turn on the Jets. I need you to score a goal right here. Buffalo had a wide open net and they missed. Bro rung it off the post and he was a foot away from the net. That is ridiculous. This game should be over right now. Toronto is putting on the pressure and they might have a goal right here. Zucker's got a chance, but he's not going to get the shot off. They're going to get another great opportunity here. There was a loose puck. Miroshnichenko's going to get the puck out of the zone, and just like that, this one's over. Buffalo, you deserve to lose this game. Toronto shouldn't have lost. Y'all choked in the final minutes there, but you got incredibly lucky. And just like that, once again, Toronto's falling in the first round of NHL Imperialism. It wouldn't be Imperialism without Toronto losing in the first round. No, like real talk, it's not NHL Imperialism unless Toronto loses in the first round. How does it happen every single time? It's beyond ridiculous at this point. Also, I will answer this right now because I already know people are going to comment. The reason I can't add players from the losing teams is it would get incredibly messy in season mode. After every single matchup, I have to reset to the beginning of the season in season mode, and the reason for that is Buffalo just took on the Toronto Maple Leafs. The first game in which Buffalo played Toronto at Toronto is until December 15th. So if I were to play this in one single season mode, we would have to simulate up till December 15th just for us to get our first matchup. So that means in the final 4.5 months, we have to get through every single matchup. That just wouldn't be possible. So yeah, we're not going to be able to add players from the losing teams. We're always going to have to restart to the beginning of the season. But that still doesn't change the fact that Toronto lost in the first round. Absolute frauds. So Buffalo's winning a game here. Isn't that an absolute miracle? We're moving on to our next matchup, and that's going to be featuring the Vancouver Canucks. So we're going to be heading from the Eastern Conference over to the Western Conference, and we're already going to begin the matchup just with one spin. So it's clear who we're taking on. We're heading southeast. That's going to be the Calgary Flames. That's a no-brainer. So we have two Canadian teams matching up. Only one can come out on top though. Now, the Vancouver Canucks have certainly got themselves an interesting team. Connor Bedard in 87 overall is going to be playing alongside Brady Tkachuk and Brock Besser. So Brock Besser, he's rejoined the Vancouver Canucks. You'd love to see it. The second line's not too bad here, but it's not necessarily the greatest in the world. Tomas Hertl, Nick Paul, Kaliev, but this bottom six, yeah, this is not going to help you too much in NHL Imperialism. Luckily, you have yourself a decent defense you can work with. Sergachev, Alex Pietrangelo, you got Ryan Lindgren, and you got Scott Perunovich. This isn't a terrible defense. However, goaltending is definitely lacking on this team. 82 overall Askarov. He's not going to be developing in today's video, so I don't know how much he's going to be helping you. Okay, the Calgary Flames have to be the heavy favorite. Unless this team has no defense, this forward core is spectacular. This is the best forward core we're going to see today, and I can guarantee you that. Vladimir Tarasenko is playing on the fourth line. This team has got some depth. Do they have any defense though? Not really. You have Matt Grzelcyk, you have Cale Makar, who's going to be great for you. Matt Waugh, Jamie Drysdale, but the left side is definitely lacking here. You do have a good goaltender in John Gibson. I'm going to say the Calgary Flames have to be the favorite here. You have an amazing forward core. Yeah, the defense might not be the greatest in the world, but you do have Cale Makar, and that means quite a bit. So yeah, the Calgary Flames, they got to be the favorite. So we got Vancouver taking on the Calgary Flames here. As I've mentioned a million times, Calgary's got to be the heavy favorite, and the goal scoring is going to be coming from the defense here. Never would have expected that, but Calgary is going to put on the pressure. I think it's safe to say this game's over. Vancouver's not making a 3-goal comeback. We're going to simulate the third period, and it's going to be a nice little show for John Gibson. Calgary took 54 shots. Got to give respect to Askarov here. Bro made 51 saves, but it still wasn't enough because Vancouver couldn't find the back of the net. No, you gotta feel bad for that man. No, that man Askarov really said, I'm gonna do everything in my power to help the Vancouver Canucks win. And what they do in return? A whole lot of nothing. 19 shots. Bro made 51 saves only for his team to take 19 shots. No, you gotta feel bad for him. So that was a dominant win by the Calgary Flames. They're one team that we're definitely have to look out for. Another team that could potentially be good, the Colorado Avalanche. But what am I talking about? They don't have Nathan MacKinnon anymore. They don't have Cale Makar. We don't even know what Colorado looks like. Yeah, like I really can't say, oh, the Colorado Avalanche are going to be the favorite in this game, because we don't even know who's on the Colorado Avalanche yet. It looks like this team's going to be heading northeast, but I think that's just giving them a free state. And you know what? I'm 100% correct. Colorado's just getting a free state here. So we're moving on to Aerospin number 2. Where's this going to be sending Colorado? They're going to be going the exact opposite direction, and this time they're going to be heading southwest. And although it's a different direction, Colorado's going to be getting a similar result, another free state. So Aerospin number 3, what's that going to be giving us here? They're heading directly south. Okay, that does nothing for us. But you know what? I shouldn't say that, because now that they own the state directly under them, what's that going to do for them? Well, that's going to lead them into Dallas Stars territory. So we got ourselves a matchup. Colorado's taking on Dallas. Now, I was gassing up the Calgary Flames. I was talking about how they were a super team. You can't sleep on Colorado. Braden Point, Ehlers, Alex Tuch, Nyquist, Malkin, Jamie Benn. You got Kadri here on the third line alongside Anders Lee, Vander Kane. But you know what the real question is? Does this team have a defense? Because they might not. Oh, never mind. They have an incredible defense. Do they have a goaltender? They probably don't. They have Harrison in between the pipes and Casey DeSmith. So the only thing this team is lacking is a great goaltender. However, when you have that good of a forward core and that good of a defense, you're going to make it work. It doesn't matter who's in between the pipes, you're going to make saves for them. So Colorado, you might be the new favorite. Because taking a look at the Dallas Stars, nowhere near as competitive. Steven Stamkos, Mark Stone, William Eklund, that's the first line. The second line's got some decent pieces. I mean, you got Velarde, you got Nichushkin here. But yeah, this doesn't even compare to Colorado's team. Maybe the defense is better. It is certainly not. What did the Dallas Stars even do with their team? Oh, they drafted Connor Hellebuyck. That is right. Yeah, they have 94 overall Connor Hellebuyck in between the pipes. And even if there's not a good team here, he can definitely steal you a game. So this is actually going to be a better matchup than I thought. So we got Colorado taking on the Dallas Stars. Two pretty solid teams here, but clearly one is better than the other. But you know what? That doesn't really matter right now. It's a tie game entering the third period. I don't care if I think Colorado's the favorite. Clearly that means absolutely nothing right now. We have ourselves a tie game. Dallas on the power play. They're not going to be able to capitalize. This one's going down to the wire, but maybe not. Noah Dobson, a massive goal on Connor Hellebuyck. He's giving Colorado the lead, but Steven Stamkos is immediately responding. 10 minutes left in this one. We don't have too much time left. But just like that, Ehlers is picking up a huge goal. We have a minute 30 left in this one. I was fully expecting this game to go into overtime, but Ehlers is picking up a last-second goal. Now we just got to see who closes it out. So Dallas is putting on some pressure here in the final seconds. They got a puck towards the net, but Mark Stone's ringing it off the post. That was the shot that was going to tie this game, but it's not going to end up. A puck's deflected towards net, but it's not going to make its way through. Colorado's going to break this puck out. Alex Tuch's going to bury it. No, he isn't. He's ringing it off the post. Why can nobody score empty net goals in this video? But you know what? Dallas has got one last push here. Bremstrom's bringing the puck into the zone. He's going to turn it over, and I think Colorado's got it, unless they just don't get the puck out of their zone, but they got it. Alex Tuch, go for the empty net. Bro shot it wide once again. Can somebody score an empty net goal here? It's not really that hard. Dallas is going to be dropping this game 5-4. It was a close fought battle, but yeah, somebody score an empty net goal. It's not that difficult. Now, Connor Hellebuyck did absolutely everything he could do in that game, but you know what? He just wasn't enough. Colorado's offense was too strong, and now they're going to be taking down the Dallas Stars. So the Dallas Stars aren't even going to get an opportunity to attack. They're going to be following in their first matchup here. Now, this was a team I thought Colorado was going to take on, but I guess not, the Utah Hockey Club. But just because Colorado didn't attack them doesn't mean Utah's not going to attack them, but that's actually exactly what it means. Utah's going to be heading west. And with Utah heading west, it's a pretty obvious matchup. They're taking on Vegas. So the Utah Hockey Club certainly has some great pieces here. JT Miller, Ken Fiala, Brock Nelson. You got Zibanejad. You got Troy Terry. This is definitely a team you can win with. The bottom six is actually in a pretty solid spot. However, I do have questions about the defense. Rasmus Sedin, Brandon Montour, that's your number one pairing. The other two pairings, I don't love. It's not bad by any means. I just don't love it. However, when it comes to goaltending, you do have Vasilevsky in between the pipes. So yeah, that kind of makes up for the lackluster defense. Now looking at the Vegas Golden Knights, the forward core doesn't jump out at me. You have Sam Reinhart, and he's certainly going to pick up some goals for you. You got Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, you got Anthony Duclair, but I'm really not liking this forward core here. You just don't have enough star players that can lead the way. When it comes to the defense, that's actually in an amazing spot. You got 87 overall Siegenthaler, 88 overall Evan Bouchard, so Siegenthaler can definitely make up for his defensive lapses, because you know for a fact Evan Bouchard is going to have a couple of those. Eric Chernak, Lindell, Kulak, Tanev, like this is actually a really good defense. You have a lot of defensive defensemen here. You have Evan Bouchard who's going to lead the offense. So you know what? All these players are actually going to work well together. And then when it comes to goaltending, you have Freddie Anderson between the pipes. So although you don't have the greatest offense, you're certainly going to be keeping the puck out of the net. You just need somebody that can score some goals for you. And you know what? You do have Sam Reinhart, so maybe he'll do that. So here we go. Utah taking on the Vegas Golden Knights. Utah's coming out hot here. Zibanejad and Farabee both picking up goals. When it comes to the second period, I thought Utah was going to have full control of this game. I saw they picked up 2 goals, but you know what? It looks like Vegas is going to be picking up 3 of their own, so we're going to have a pretty close finish here. That's the one thing that is good with the fantasy draft. Every team should be somewhat competitive, so in all these games we jump into, all of them should be close. Theoretically, they should be close, but if you're a terrible drafting team, then yeah, you're going to be in tough. But you know what? Yarncrow's going to be picking up a massive goal here. We're jumping into the final 2 minutes. It's a tie game. We might finally have our first overtime matchup. So we're down to the final 20 seconds. Vegas is going to win the draw here. That was a big win for them. Siegenthaler's got the puck at the point. He's sending it over to Bouchard. That shot's going to be blocked. And now Utah's got numbers here. Okay, no, they don't. They had numbers for a second, but somebody didn't jump up to the rush with them. Farabee's cooking. He's finding Zibanejad. Zibanejad should have shot that. Why did you try to center that? Why did you try to pass it to the man in front? Bro, take that shot. You had so much time. You had so much space. You got to shoot that right there. Bro got lit up in the process. No, throw that on net and you have a way better scoring chance. So I doubt Utah's going to score in the final 2 seconds here. They're going to get one last chance, and they almost scored. Bro got lit up right into the net, but it doesn't matter. We're off to overtime. Our first overtime matchup. Each team had a couple great opportunities, but it doesn't matter. We're still tied. So we got ourselves some 3-on-3 overtime. JT Moore's got a breakaway, but look at Evan Bouchard. I was ripping this man for his defense, and then he makes a great defensive play. Finds Sam Reinhart. Sam Reinhart's going to dish it back to Nugent Hopkins. Reinhart's got the puck in the corner. He's working towards the front of the net, but it's going to be stopped. Now they got numbers. Utah's going the other way. We got Brandon Montour. Who's at his side? I don't know, but Brandon Montour is going to take this one to the net, but Freddie Anderson's making the save here. We got 2:27 left. You never know. We might see our first ever shootout winner in NHL Imperialism today. I don't think we've ever had an NHL Imperialism game decided by a shootout. But you know what? There's still lots of time left in overtime. Troy Terry's got the puck, and he's looking to find a man. He found Brandon Montour. Brandon Montour's teeing one up, but his shot's going to be blocked. There's a loose puck, though, and now they got numbers. They're going to find the open man. Here goes Marco Rossi. Can he end the game here? And he just didn't take a shot. Marco Rossi just did nothing with that opportunity. Bro, what are you doing? But you know what? If Utah turns on the Jets here, they're going to have numbers. And yes, they do. It's a 3-on-0, but all the players are tired. Brandon Montour can't make the play. No, this is actually tough to watch. Each team has had great opportunities. Duclair had a breakaway but stopped skating. But Marco Rossi, he's got another chance. Can he capitalize this time? It doesn't look like it, but Anthony Duclair is going to be right there for the rebound. He's going to bury the winner, and Vegas is going to be taking down the Utah Hockey Club. This is definitely an upset in my books, but you know what? It was 3-on-3 overtime. Anything could have happened, and that's going to have Vegas coming out on top. Now, that was quite the victory there from the Vegas Golden Knights. It was a thrilling finish. Anthony Duclair, he was right there for the rebound, and because he crashed the net, he's going to be potting the winner, and we got Vegas coming out on top. So that was a thrilling finish in the Vegas game, but we're yet to see our first ever shootout game in NHL Imperialism. Maybe we're going to see that in the next game. The Boston Bruins are going to be on the attack. Now, there's a handful of teams around Boston. Where are they going to be heading first? It looks like they're going to be heading west. And normally with the Boston Bruins, we have to do a handful of wheel spins, but not today. If we're going directly west, that's going to lead into some New York Islanders territory. So we have the Boston Bruins taking on the Islanders. That was pretty simple. Now, the Boston Bruins certainly got some goal scoring here. You got Leon Draisaitl, you got Svechnikov. Cole Perfett's going to be manning that second line. But when it comes to the bottom six, Nate Danielson's here, and he's only a 73 overall. So yeah, that's definitely a bit of a cause for concern. Josh Doan's playing some third line minutes. He's a 79 overall. I don't like this team. Like, you have Trevor Moore, Cole Perfetti, Leon Draisaitl, Svechnikov. Those are the only guys above an 83 overall in the forward core. You have 4 guys. That's definitely something to be nervous about. However, in saying that, the defense is really good here. Sean Durzi, Mo Sider, Brian Pollock. You have Jacob Trouba. That's definitely a defense you can win with here. And if you have a great goaltender, I'm going to love it even more. Yeah, we're not going to talk about this. We're just going to move over to the New York Islanders and pretend that didn't happen. What are these line mates for Austin Matthews? Respectfully, James Schwartz, St. Louis Blues legend and all, but you're not a first line player anymore. Chiarelli, I think you have to be moved up to the first line, but you know what? I'm not deciding this. This is just the head coach preferred lines. That head coach is going to decide this, and if he wants to run Austin Matthews alongside James Schwartz, he's going to do that. The forward core, a lot of great depth pieces, but it's only depth pieces here. You have Austin Matthews, that's about it when it comes to superstars. Defensively though, Vince Dunn, Hronek, Noah Hannafin, Braden Schneider, that's actually a pretty solid defense there. It's going to be rounded out by Connor Timmins and Zamula, and if you thought that wasn't good enough, add UC Saros to the conversation. He's in between the pipes. It's actually kind of funny. What are the New York Islanders lacking right now? Probably goal scoring outside of Austin Matthews. What do they lack in real life? Goal scoring. So even after a fantasy draft, they still have the same problems. So let's see if the New York Islanders can be able to score goals with Austin Matthews. My guess is no, but you know what? They're immediately scoring 3 goals in the first period, and every single one of them came by a member of that first line. I was trash talking this first line. They proceed to pick up 3 goals in the first period. Draisaitl's got 2. Yeah, I got nothing to say. But look at Boston immediately responding here. It looks like the Islanders' goal scoring depth is definitely going to be hurting them. They're now trailing by 1 entering the third period. That flipped really quick. The Islanders had a great chance to win this game, and you know what? They still have a great chance. Dorfia is going to be picking up a massive goal. We're entering the final 2 minutes, but we might not be jumping into this one. Actually, we still are. We got 2:41 left. Cole Perfetti just picked up a massive goal. The Islanders still have time to respond. So the Boston Bruins continue to put a lot of pressure on here, but they're not the ones that need a goal. It's the New York Islanders, and the Islanders just can't get the puck out of their own zone right now. They're wasting a lot of time, but they finally get it out. James Schwartz is going to be pushing the puck up here. They're looking to center it over to Austin Austin Matthews, but Jaden Schwartz with the deflection, he's going to put that one in the back of the net, and we got overtime. Unless somebody scores in the next 44 seconds, Jaden Schwartz, what an incredible tip right there. But Austin Matthews, a great shot towards the net. Yeah, that was just some magical work there by the Islanders. Now we got overtime. And you know what? Boston's not messing around. They're immediately going to work here. They don't want to go to overtime. Mo Sarr is going to send over to Sean Durzi. Sean Durzi is going to try to get that one towards the net. You know what? It sort of worked out, but hold on. It looks like the Islanders got themselves a breakaway. Pavel Dorofeia can end this game. What is he doing? He went for the pass. Bro is looking like stick on the ice when he's playing. He's looking for that easy tap in. But you know what? He passed it to somebody who is 3 feet back. What is he doing? That's a stick on the ice moment right there. Boston continues to put on the pressure, but I believe this game's going to be headed to overtime. 5 seconds left. Is Boston going to get another chance here? It doesn't look like it. We're off to overtime here. The Islanders got control of the puck. We got overtime. Now, Pavel Dorofeia, you were looking like a prime stick on the ice. Has a breakaway and then does a drop back pass 3 feet behind him to a covered man. That's a stick on the ice move right there. But Jaden Schwartz, he's looking for another goal here, but so is Austin Matthews. Carter Hart's making the massive save. Hate to see it. So Austin Matthews, you could be priming Jaden Schwartz up for a big time goal if you win this face-off, but you're not going to be doing that. The Boston Bruins are going to break it out, and if they turn on the Jets here, they'll have a chance. Send it over to Perfetti. Perfetti's got a nice shot right there, but you know what? It's not going to be good enough. The Islanders are getting pressured a little bit in the defensive zone, but it looks like Jaden Schwartz is finally getting it. Here goes Matthews. Jaden Schwartz has got to turn on the Jets here, but he's just not going to be quick enough to get to that loose puck. Trevor Moore's turning it around here. Now the Boston Bruins have numbers. Maybe they don't. Yes, they do. I'm going back and forth here. So is this game. Here goes Trevor Moore. What's he going to do with the puck? He's throwing that towards the net. He's going to try to get his loose puck, but it doesn't matter. He's not going to be quick enough. Matthews is exhausted. He should just dump the puck into the zone here, but he wants to take it. He's looking to be the hero right here. I don't think that's the right decision. He's stuck on the ice now. He's exhausted. Then again, so are the Boston Bruins. Matthews is going to tee that one up, and now he's in a tough spot here. He's got to play some defense, but he's exhausted. But the Bruins are exhausted. Everyone on the ice is tired right now. How is everyone still on the ice? But here goes Hronek. He's going to have a nice shot here. Perfetti's got the loose puck, centering it back to Matthews. Matthews is taking a big shot, but Carter Hart's coming up big once again. He's making a massive save. So there's 4.7 seconds left. If the Islanders win this face-off, we're going to be headed to a shootout. If Boston wins, they're going to have one last chance. The Islanders are winning it. We're off to a shootout. Who's going to be taking this one? Honestly, if the Islanders had like 10 more seconds there, they might have had an odd man rush, but you know what? Time wasn't on their side, and now we're off to a shootout. The first ever shootout in stick on the ice imperialism history is happening right now. The Boston Bruins and the New York Islanders. We'll see who comes out on top. So, of course, our first shooter for the Boston Bruins, that's going to be Leon Draisaitl going against Carter Hart. He's making a big save. What am I talking about? UC Saros, I apologize. UC Saros is making the save. We have Austin Matthews going against Carter Hart here. Matthews is going to start it off. Let's see what he can do for the Islanders. A nice little move right there, but Carter Hart's glove's a bit too quick. Svechnikov's going to be the next shooter for the Boston Bruins to see what he can do against UC Saros. Not Carter Hart. Nothing. Bro didn't really do anything right there. So up next is Jaden Schwartz, a St. Louis Blues legend. Is the St. Louis Blues legend going to be able to score? No, he's not. Carter Hart is shutting him down. Now from here on out, it's basically going to be next goal wins. Cole Perfetti, let's see what you can do. If you score right here, you're giving the Boston Bruins a chance, but he's going to be shut down. UC Saros, another big save. Now it all comes down to this shot right here. Anthony Cirelli, it all comes down to you. If you score right here, you're winning it for the New York Islanders. And what are you going to be able to do? What are you doing? What did I just watch? You didn't do anything. You skated into the corner. This is Superstar CPU, by the way. I have it set to Superstar difficulty. Hence, the CPU on both teams is Superstar difficulty. That is the logic for Superstar difficulty CPU. I feel like the Islanders should lose because of that. This team's not shooting. The Islanders are selling this game right now. They're just not shooting the puck. What am I watching right now? Sean Durzi, at least shoot the puck here. Do something. Thank God Sean Durzi's going to be shooting the puck. At least somebody's doing something here. Vince Dunn's up next. The New York Islanders have not realized they need to shoot the puck in order to score goals here. They're shooting the puck finally, but it wasn't even a good attempt. Up next for the Boston Bruins, we're going to see Morgan Frost. Round number 6. It's been all goaltenders, but I shouldn't even say that. Maybe I should. UC Saros is finally folding. Morgan Frost is going to find the back of the net here. Can Carter Hart make one more save? And the Boston Bruins are going to take down the Islanders. It all comes down to one shot. No, real talk, UC Saros, you should have had that. You should have made that save, but it's going to trickle in. That might be a game changer. So it all comes down to one more shooter for the Islanders. Pavel Dorfia's got the puck on his stick, and what's he going to do? Carter Hart can't make the save. Dorfia, a massive goal right there. I thought Carter Hart saved it. I thought he got his glove on it, but apparently not. Pavel Dorfia had that man lost, and Carter Hart actually did make the save. His glove was in the back of the net, though. Pavel Dorfia, you got incredibly lucky there. So we're moving on to round number 7. They just keep going back and forth. UC Saros, I need a big save from you. And once again, it's just going to trickle in. Gustafson's picking up the big goal. It's all on Carter Hart now. So it all comes down to Carter Hart. Can he make one more save right here? Yes, he can. The Boston Bruins are taking down the New York Islanders. A massive win right there. Boston, that was a great game. Could have gone either way. But you know what? Goaltending came up huge for you. And it was Carter Hart. Yeah, no comment. I really don't know what to say about that. But I also want to point this out. Austin Matthews, yet again, losing an NHL Imperialism in the first round. Not only is it the Toronto Maple Leafs that can't win an NHL Imperialism, it's Austin Matthews as well. Even when he changes teams, that man still can't do anything. So the Boston Bruins with a massive win right there. You can thank Carter Hart for that one. But I wouldn't thank Carter Hart. That's just not something I would do. So yeah, Boston's winning this matchup. They had a questionable goaltender in between the pipes, but that's neither here nor there. They're coming out victorious. And with that loss right there, the Islanders are going to be eliminated. So that was certainly an interesting shootout game that we just witnessed, but it's time for us to move on. And it looks like the next team we're moving on to is one that I just rebuilt recently, the Winnipeg Jets. Now, one thing about the Winnipeg Jets, they will always find a way to disappoint you. So let's see if they're going to do that again. They're starting off by heading southeast. And it looks like southeast is immediately going to throw us into a matchup here. They're going to be taking on the Minnesota Wild. Now, Winnipeg, all I can say is y'all better not fold. Connor McDavid, Matt Boldy, Buchnevich, Matt Barzal, Chandler Stevenson, Victor Arvidsson. You even have Mason Marchment here on the third line. This team should win. You have McDavid. You have the pieces when it comes to the defense. However, you have quite a few offensive defensemen here, so you know what? That might be your weak point, but you're going to figure it out. You also have Jeremy Swayman. There is no reason Winnipeg shouldn't win. They have all the pieces they need. And saying that, it's not like the Minnesota Wild are a bad team, though. Dylan Strome, Kirill Kaprizov, Clayton Keller. You have Joel Eriksson here as well. Why didn't you just redraft the entire Minnesota Wild team? Because you brought 2 of the key pieces. When it comes to the bottom 6, not in the greatest spot here, but you know what? They have an atrocious defense. This defense is actually cooked. You went really young here. You brought in Edmonton, you brought in Levshinov. I respect those 2 moves right there. But yeah, this defense is bad. Like, very bad. And then goaltending, you have Stuart Skinner. They don't stand a chance. Then again, you're playing the Winnipeg Jets. Winnipeg will find a way to fold. So there's no way the Minnesota Wild win this, right? Like, they just aren't a good team. What am I yapping about? Okay, never mind. The Winnipeg Jets are making a comeback. At first, I thought Minnesota was going to smoke this team 6-0 or something. But Winnipeg scoring back-to-back goals in the second period. We have ourselves a tie game entering the third period. It all comes down to this. And immediately after finishing that statement, Clayton Keller, a massive power play goal. Winnipeg's really going to lose. They're going to lose in the game number 1 against the Minnesota Wild. That's about to happen here. Down to the final minute here. No, Winnipeg, you have to win this. What a stupid penalty to take right there. Buchnevich is taking a slashing penalty. Minnesota's going to be on the power play here. The game's over. The game is over just like that. They sold. Buchnevich is taking a bad penalty right here. Like, bro, I don't even know what you're doing. That is a stupid penalty to take in that situation. So not only does Minnesota have a 1-goal lead, they're also on the power play now. Winnipeg, you have to score the most miraculous goal at this point. So Winnipeg's pulling the goalie here. I mean, they got to do something. They don't really have any other choice. Minnesota's going to break this puck out, and just like that, the game's over. Sharon Govich has got the empty net. He's going to bury it. Minnesota's taking this game. No, Winnipeg, y'all are frauds. Winnipeg, I can't believe you did that. How did you just do that? You lost to the Minnesota Wild. They had no business beating you, yet you lost. If that's not Winnipeg Jets fashion, I don't know what is. No, like, real talk, Winnipeg, how do you always fold in the most impressive fashion? It doesn't make sense. We're moving on to the greatest franchise of all time, the St. Louis Blues. It doesn't matter who's on St. Louis, they're going to be competing. Alright, so St. Louis has a couple teams they could take on here. It looks like we're going to be heading directly east, and that makes it pretty simple. Now, if we head directly east, which team are we going to be taking on? Oh, geez, there's a lot of options here. Like, we could take on the Chicago Blackhawks, and then we could take on the Chicago Blackhawks, and then we could take on the Chicago Blackhawks. But yeah, we're going to take on the Chicago Blackhawks. So the St. Louis Blues aren't looking too bad here. However, the right side's definitely lacking here. Jordan Kyrou is the best player we have here in 88 overall. But Daniel Sprong being our number 2 right winger, yeah, definitely not ideal. Wyatt Johnson's here. Boone Jenner's here. We got Gabriel Landeskog, Jack Eichel. You know what? This isn't a terrible top 6, barring that right winger. We just need a better option there. When it comes to the defense, Jake Wallman's back on the team. St. Louis Blues legend. Should have never got rid of him, but hey, it is what it is. We got Brett Pesce. We got Brock Faber, JJ Moser. We have a really good defense here. And do we have a superstar goaltender? You know what? I'll take Logan Thompson and Charlie Lindgren. Charlie Lindgren, St. Louis Blues legend. But yeah, we just got the Washington Capitals tandem. That's what we got here in St. Louis. Okay, unless Chicago has the greatest defense and greatest goaltending imaginable, I do not know what this team did. Like, y'all have a first line and that's it. You have a lot of great young talent though. But yeah, this team is not winning. Looking at the defense, what do you have here? Jacob Slavin, Forsling. This is a really bad defense too. I mean, I should say it's really bad. You have Slavin, you have Forsling. But yeah, this is not the greatest. Who do you have for goaltenders? Oh, you went purely with young talent. Jesper Wallace did 82 overall. St. Louis, please don't lose to this team. They are all young talent. We can't lose to them. Now, St. Louis, you have one job. Do not lose to the Blackhawks. Of course you're losing to the Blackhawks. Why am I not surprised? Lost 6-3. We are getting through this game as fast as possible. Nah, St. Louis, how did you lose? How did you lose that game to the Chicago Blackhawks? They had nothing. There was nothing on that team, and yet they beat us. No, there's no excuse for that. No, like, I really have nothing to say. St. Louis, you were the heavy favorite. You were favored by 2 goals heading into that game, and you lost by 3. I got nothing to say. New Jersey, truthfully, I don't really care which direction you head. I'm heartbroken. Directly south isn't really going to do too much for the New Jersey Devils. They are going to claim this free state right here. But yeah, St. Louis really lost that game. Like, how do y'all lose that game? There was no way you should have lost. I just can't get over that. New Jersey's taking on the Philadelphia Flyers here, but how did you lose to Chicago? It doesn't make sense. Okay, I want to point out that these are just the head coach preferred lines. So the fact that this man wants to run Brandon Hagel, a playmaker, alongside Casey Milstat, a playmaker, alongside Lucas Raymond, another playmaker, that is his decision. But don't worry, on the second line, we got some depth as well. We're going to have Jeff Skinner, a sniper, playing alongside Patrick Laine, a sniper, playing alongside Lundell, who's a two-way forward. If he wants to play all the playmakers together and then basically 2 snipers together, that is his choice. I'm not making any executive decisions here. Adam Fox, you're going to have to play some big minutes for this defense because it's certainly not looking that great. And then goaltending, you have Blackwood and Nedeljkovic. Yeah, I don't think the New Jersey Devils are going to last too long. Granted, that's what I said about the Blackhawks, and here we are. So who really knows what's going to happen? But looking at the Philadelphia Flyers, you got Tim Stützle, you got Tyler Toffoli, you got Alex DeBrincat, Jared McCann. The rest of the forward core, not looking the greatest. 69 overall Parzak is in the lineup. Y'all are down atrocious. Nothing else needs to be said. Defensively, you have a couple young pieces, but not a great defense. What's the goaltending looking like? Joey Decord, I mean, that's not too bad. But yeah, that offense, not looking great. That defense, not looking great. You do have Joey Decord, though. So I guess this could go either way. So New Jersey and Philly, 2 very questionable teams matching up here, but Philly's picking up 2 of the first goals here, and it's definitely coming from some unexpected sources. But hey, if Philly's going to find the back of the net, who cares? But New Jersey's immediately responding here. They're going to have 2 unanswered goals. They have a 1-goal lead entering the 3rd period. Once again, we're going to have ourselves a close one here, so don't be surprised if this game goes to overtime. Philly just had themselves a power play, weren't able to capitalize. We're entering the final 10 minutes of the 3rd period. Who's going to show up when it matters here? We might be jumping into another game. It's another really close matchup. 2:25 left. Why not jump into this one? Now, so far, Philly's scoring has come from some unlikely sources, so it's about time the top players step up here. Tyler Toffoli's bringing the puck into the zone. You're kidding me. You're actually kidding me. Hold on. We need to look at something. Before we do anything else, we are looking at settings. We're going to go over to game settings, and we're going to look at this difficulty together. Superstar difficulty. I'm turning the face cam on for this. Superstar difficulty. That's what we're talking about here. And we're going to watch this goal. We are going to pull out the instant replay to watch this goal that Tyler Toffoli scores. How in the world do you score that backhander? I could make that save. That's ridiculous. That is one of the stupidest things I have seen so far in NHL 25. On superstar difficulty, that backhander makes it into the back of the net. Mackenzie Blackwood, you should be in the AHL for that. You know what? I take that back, Blackwood. The AHL would be too good for you. Go to the ECHL. No way you just allowed that goal. So just like that, Philly's tying this game up. I can't believe he scored that. I could take that shot a million times and I would never score it once. But you're telling me Tyler Toffoli's just like, no, I'm going to throw some weak shot towards the net and Blackwood's just going to completely miss it. So with that Tyler Toffoli goal, we now have a tie game. There is no reason this should be a tie game, and I am so happy I jumped into this game a little bit early just so we could witness that goal. Bruh, ain't no way. No way they just scored again. I know it's getting called back, but this might stand. With the way goals have been scored so far, I would not be overly surprised if this stood. Okay, I can't see the puck go into the net. That is a terrible angle. Give me a much better angle here. What is happening? Does he get pushed into the goaltender? It doesn't look like it, but you never know what's going to happen. It's no goal. This might be one of the wildest games I've ever watched. Like, I'm fully expecting at this point, Philly's going to take like a 5-minute penalty or something. They're going to do something really stupid and then lose this game. You know what? It only makes sense that we finish this game in 3-on-3 overtime. Just kidding. Zutterland's going to score right there. The rebound was right there. They couldn't bury it. Philly's putting on all the pressure right now. Low key, this is Philly's game to lose. They have all the momentum right now. They have made no mistakes. Zellweger's going to score from right there. It doesn't look like it. We're off to overtime. This is the wildest game I've ever watched. There is no game I've ever watched that's more stupid than this. So we got ourselves overtime. The Philadelphia Flyers and New Jersey Devils. One of these teams is going to be surviving, but the real question is which teams are going to be. It might be the New Jersey Devils because they're low-key cooking into the offensive zone. A great chance by Adam Fox to Brinkat's getting the loose puck though. Now they're breaking it out and they might have numbers here. Tim Stutz is turning on the Jets. A nice little centering pass, but they couldn't get it across in time. DeBrincat's got the puck back to Tim Stutzel. Stutzel's going to work over to Morrissey. Stutzel's right there for the rebound. This is some nice passing from the Philadelphia Flyers. Josh Morrissey, you got to take that slap shot. You were in the perfect spot to take it, and you're in the perfect spot again. This man cannot catch a break. Morrissey's been in the perfect spot twice in a row. There goes DeBrincat. What were you doing, Blackwood? Hold on, we got to watch that instant replay. Why did you commit so far over? Here goes DeBrincat. Like, yeah, this is a tough spot right here. Blackwood can't really do too much. Truthfully, Tim Stutzel should probably just crash to the net right here and then it would be an easy tap in. But look at him commit to this shot right there. It wasn't even a shot. He's going to the backhand right here. Bro is so far out of position. He doesn't stand a chance. And that's an easy goal for DeBrincat. No, man's had his entire body shifted, left the net wide open. That was ridiculous. Truthfully, New Jersey, all I can do is laugh at you. I can only laugh at you guys because how did you lose that game? The Tyler Toffoli goal was absolutely ridiculous, and then after that goal, they dominated. From start to finish, y'all didn't have a chance. I shouldn't say from start to finish. From start to finish of overtime, y'all didn't have a chance. But Philly was really built different there. No, like Tyler Toffoli, how did you score that goal? That backhander still makes no sense to me. We got the Florida Panthers, and like usual, there's only one team Florida can really take on. So we don't have to spin the arrow or anything. We just go down to the Florida Panthers. They can only take on the Tampa Bay Lightning. So yeah, we got Florida versus Tampa. Keep it simple. So for the context of this video, the Florida Panthers definitely took the wrong route. However, for the future, they built a super team here. They have Macklin Celebrini, they got Mishkov, they got Will Smith. In 5 years, this team would be phenomenal. Right now, this team is awful. Owen Power, 86 overall. He's the best overall in the defense. You have 81 overall Kevin Korchinski, a nice young piece. Axel Sedin Pellikka, bro was an absolute stud in his first World Junior game. Picked up a hat trick as well as an assist. He was incredible. Goaltending wise, you have a young Kochetkov. He's only 25 years old. There is no way this team beats Tampa. Then again, Chicago beat St. Louis. Anything can happen. But comparing this top six to Florida's top six, it's not even comparable. They have Sean Lawton here. If you have Sean Lawton, you already know you're going to be an elite team. I have learned his name is Scott Lawton, but I will still call him Sean Lawton, and I will always call that man Sean Lawton. When it comes to the defense is better. When it comes to goaltending, both goaltenders are better. Tampa beats Florida in every aspect of the game. But yet, they'll still find a way to lose. So here we go, Florida and Tampa. Two teams taking on each other. Celebrini picking up the first goal. Will Smith is picking up the second. This isn't happening. Travis Konecny's potting a goal here. This is a bit more realistic. But no, Florida really has a 1-goal lead right now. Tampa's on the power play. They're not going to be able to capitalize. Florida might steal this game. Is Florida really going to steal this game away from Tampa? Okay, reality is set in here. Back-to-back goals from the Tampa Bay Lightning. We have a tie game entering the final 2 minutes here. It's technically 2:41, but that's neither here nor there. Tampa, you got to score one more and you'll win this game. Then again, Florida, it would be pretty interesting if you somehow complete this upset. Okay, so I don't think it's any surprise since I jumped into this game. It has been all Tampa Bay. They are putting on all the pressure right now. They're taking all the shots. They are doing absolutely everything. Florida does not stand a chance right now. Renski's got an opportunity to take a shot, but he's going to elect to pass there. Not really sure if that was the move, but you know what? Florida's going to try to get it out, but it doesn't look like they can. This is all Tampa Bay. If Tampa doesn't win this game, then Florida completed the biggest upset of all time, because Florida's not even in the same league as Tampa right now. Tampa is dominating. Every aspect of this game right now is all Tampa Bay. Florida can barely get the puck out of their own zone. They finally do, but it's not for long. Tampa's looking to push again here. Zach Werenski's bringing the puck in. It looks like the goaltender's a bit exhausted here. Giroux's got it. He's going to center it over, but the pass won't be completed here. No, Florida's cooked. There is no way this team wins in 3-on-3. Tampa has way too many solid players. Florida's just not going to have the talent to be able to compete, especially in 3-on-3. Jonathan Huberdeau, one last chance here. Low key, if he went to the backhand there, he might have had a breakaway, but that's neither here nor there. We're off to overtime. So Mishkov's got a bit of a one-on-one here. Tampa turned the puck over in the offensive zone. They're trying to get aggressive, and now it's a 3-on-0. But I guess not, because Tampa's not going to catch up to this play. But here, what are you doing? What are you actually doing? This team has 0 IQ. There is not a single piece of IQ between those 3 teammates on the ice. Bro had a breakaway and did a huge drop back pass. That's not even a stick on the ice moment, because I don't do that far of a drop back pass. I drop it back maybe 2-3 feet. You dropped it back about 20. Nah, Tampa is making some decisions out here I certainly don't agree with. I don't know what the thought process is with half of these decisions. Kopitar's getting a great chance, but he's not going to be able to capitalize. And here goes Florida. They're finally moving now. Dawson Burst is bringing the puck in. If he dished it over to that man, he would have had a great chance, but he's going to hold on to it. Here goes Drew Doughty giving it up to Kopitar. Let's see Kopitar turn on the Jets here. They're doing too many dekes. You're doing pointless dekes right now. You're not giving yourself a great chance. Kochetkov's going to cover this one up. Stop doing pointless dekes. Like, if y'all just didn't do pointless dekes, this game would probably be over. Here goes Travis Konecny, shot towards net. Rantanen's right there for the rebound. They continue to push. Look at Kochetkov standing on his head right now. He is the only reason Florida's not down by probably 20 goals. Okay, Florida, let's see what you can do here. A whole lot of nothing. Travis Konecny turning on the Jets here, but he's not going to be fast enough. Look at Florida breaking that play up, but not really, because they're still giving Travis Konecny a lot of space, and he's going to find Mikko Rantanen, who's going to end this game on big one-time from Mikko Rantanen. Nah, Florida, let's be real. You didn't deserve to win that game, and y'all did not help Kochetkov whatsoever. Bro faced like 50 shots. He can't save them all. So Florida, you didn't stand a chance there. Even if you played great defense in front of Kochetkov, you just didn't have the offense to beat Tampa Bay. Your team was one of the worst in the entire league. We had to simulate give or take 25 games just to get to this matchup between Tampa and Florida. At that point, Florida had only won 9 games. They were 9-16. Clearly, a team that's 9-16 isn't going to be beating that Tampa Bay Lightning team. They were solid from top to bottom. So Tampa, you made that game way harder than it should have been, but you are going to be coming out on top. Vegas is looking to attack next. They've already been involved in one matchup, but now they're about to be involved in another. So is Vegas going to be taking on a new team, or are we going to be seeing 2 teams we've already seen before? Well, that's a pretty obvious answer. We have Vegas versus Colorado. So we've already seen the rosters for these 2 teams, so we might as well get right into the matchup. So Vegas and Colorado, 2 teams we've seen before. Brandon Saad's going to get the goal scoring started, and it looks like Chris Letang's going to continue it into the second period, but Sam Reinhart is picking up a goal. So what a surprise. Another close game here. Very rarely do we ever have blowouts. We're going to ignore the St. Louis Blues game. We're not going to talk about that game. That was an anomaly. So we're in the final 5 minutes of this one. It's still an incredibly close game. Colorado's on the power play. They could give themselves a 2-goal lead, and then they would be set. However, you never know what's going to happen. Vegas has definitely got some talent here, so it could still go either way. A big penalty kill for Vegas would definitely set the tone. So Vegas did a great job killing off that penalty, and now they're pushing on the attack, and they're going to send it all the way back into their own zone. Freddie Anderson's going to retrieve it, but now they're running out of time here. They just wasted probably about 20 seconds right there. Marco Rossi's bringing the puck into the zone here. They've pulled the net for Vegas, but you know what? They're immediately turning it over, something they definitely didn't want to do right there. Colorado's collecting the puck behind the net, but they can't really gain control. Vegas has gotten, they're looking to score here. They don't have too much time. Reinhardt's getting a great chance. Unfortunately, he was on the backhand, so he couldn't get a good shot off. Siegenthaler's got the puck. He almost turned it over, but Nugent Hopkins is going to get it over to Cal Yarko. Chernak's going to tee one up from the point. It's going to be deflected into the corner. Time is winding down for Vegas. They don't have enough time. Colorado's collecting the puck, and they should get it out of the defensive zone here. It looks like they are. Chris Letang has a chance to end it, but of course he's going to miss the empty net, because why would anybody hit the empty net? I don't understand it. Why does everybody miss the empty net? It's not that hard. Noah Dobson's going to end this game right here. He's passing it up to Malkin. Malkin's going to bury the empty netter. Just like that, Colorado's going to be winning this game. But Malkin, congratulations. The first person to ever hit the empty net. It's a miracle. So that was a massive defense right there from the Colorado Avalanche, taking down a team like the Vegas Golden Knights. Colorado is now the first team to take down two teams, so they're looking pretty hot right now. But is that going to continue? We're yet to see. So Colorado's going to have a great defense right there, and they're going to be staying alive. We're moving on to our next team, and you know what? Colorado might end up in another matchup here because we have the LA Kings, and it is possible for LA to take on Colorado. In saying that, there is a ton of other teams that the LA Kings could take on, but they're getting Colorado. All right then. So if you were sick and tired of the Colorado Avalanche, too bad. They're taking on the LA Kings now. Okay, I just have to show this just so we all know. Head coach preferred lines. They want Ryan Donato on the first line over Trevor Zegras and over Mason McTavish. This bottom six, atrocious outside of Mason McTavish. They are not winning. The LA Kings are in the absolute trenches right now. Charlie McAvoy, Brant Clark, Cam York. I mean, you got some decent pieces there, but this just isn't going to be enough. Lucas Dostal's the starting goaltender. Yeah, I don't see the LA Kings putting up much of a fight. No, I want to say this is going to be a close game, but I just don't think it will be. Colorado probably should dominate here, but you know what? We're exchanging goals in the first period. In the second, the LA Kings are surprising me. Cam York, 2 massive goals. Maybe the Kings are actually going to steal this away from Colorado. I was thinking Colorado was going to finish at the top of NHL Imperialism, and maybe not. They're still facing a 2-goal deficit. They're almost halfway through the third period. No longer is it a 2-goal deficit. It's now a 3-goal deficit. Brad Marchand, I completely neglected the fact that you were on the LA Kings, and you're going to show up in the big moments here. We just simulated the rest of this game because they weren't making the comeback. LA's winning at 6-4. That's a massive victory for them. So with that victory right there, look at all the territory the LA Kings are gaining. That's a massive win for them. So even though the LA Kings were lacking in a majority of their game, they were still able to upset the Colorado Avalanche. But you know what? I think we spent enough time in the West. Let's head over to the East Coast, and we got the Pittsburgh Penguins up next. Okay, am I allowed to call Pittsburgh the East Coast? Because they're technically not on the coast, but they're in the East. In the grand scheme of the NHL, they're on the East Coast, but you know what I mean. They're heading south. I'm just yapping. Yeah, because Pittsburgh technically not on the East Coast, but that's neither here nor there. If we're heading south from the Pittsburgh Penguins logo, we're getting the Washington Capitals. Now, the Pittsburgh Penguins, they got some studs here. They got Nick Suzuki. They got 95 overall on Nikita Kucherov. They got Kuzmenko. But you know who else they have? They have Torpchenko. They have Zachary Bolduc. And with these two St. Louis Blues legends, you already know Pittsburgh's going to be competing. When it comes to the defense, it's actually in a really solid spot. Devon Taves, Shabbat. You have Ivan Provorov. You got David Jiricek. You have a lot of left defensemen, though. So maybe that's going to hurt you. I guess we'll have to wait and see. And then when it comes to goaltending, you have 87 overall Gustafsson. Low-key, Pittsburgh's pretty balanced. But I guess the real question is a balanced Pittsburgh Penguins team good enough to beat this team right here? Probably, because you already know Rempe's going to take a 5-minute penalty, and then Pittsburgh's going to score 2 goals. So I'm very sorry, Washington, but you're not going to win this game. Yeah, Rempe is one of the worst players in the NHL. Bro just gets penalties. That's all he does. He is averaging as many penalty minutes per game as he is time on ice. Why would you want a player like that on your team? It just doesn't make sense. But yeah, Pittsburgh, you probably have this in the bag because Rempe's going to take a stupid penalty. Now, like, the discussion has to be had, is a fan watching on their couch have a greater positive impact than when Matt Rempe's on the ice? Because bro will play 5 minutes, but he'll pick up 7 minutes worth of penalties. So he just hurts your team more than he actually helps it. So does the fan sitting on their couch that has zero impact on the game whatsoever, does he give your team a better chance at winning than Matt Rempe on the ice? That is a discussion we have to have here. Pittsburgh's currently trailing 3-4 in this game, but you know what? Just wait for Rempe to take that stupid penalty. And what a surprise, Pittsburgh's on the power play. They're not going to capitalize, and Pittsburgh's on the power play again. Cousins is scoring a goal. What are the odds Matt Rempe took one of those penalties right there? So we're entering the final minutes in this one. It's a tie game between Pittsburgh and Washington. 2:42 left. We might as well jump into it. Give ourselves a lot of time. Maybe this one's going to end in regulation. Maybe it's going to go to overtime. We're yet to see. So here we go. Pittsburgh's bringing the puck into the zone. A nice little pass pass from Nikita Kucherov. Vamelka is going to make a big glove save right there. We have 58 seconds left in this one. Still lots of time to go. So 58 seconds, that's certainly lots of time for somebody to pick up a goal right here. Washington's going to have themselves a pretty solid breakout. If Jake DeBrusk turns on the Jets, they could have numbers here. Drake Batherson, a chance to win it, but nope, he's going to be shut down by Gustafsson. There's a loose puck. They got the full pressure mirror maxed out, but Pittsburgh's moving up the ice now. Here goes Nick Suzuki, bringing the puck into the zone, dropping over to Nikita Kucherov. Nikita Kucherov making one too many passes here, but at least Pittsburgh's keeping it in the zone. They got the full pressure meter maxed out, but they're doing absolutely nothing with it. You got to throw something on net, get a little offensive pressure going, but here goes Jamie Alexiak, turning the puck over in the offensive zone. Bro, what are you doing? So Voronkov's probably going to have one last chance here. He's bringing the puck in, trying to find an open man. He's just going to turn it over. Washington's breaking out, so Rupe Hintz is probably going to get the last shot here. If he gets a shot off, and it doesn't look like he will, Pittsburgh's going to break this puck out, and we're off to overtime. Unless Dylan Cousins scores a stupid goal right here. He's going to take a shot. If Melka's making the save, we're off to overtime. So we got overtime between these two rivals, the Pittsburgh Penguins and Washington Capitals. But is there really a rivalry between these two teams? Like, everybody's on new teams right now. So is that rivalry still here? I guess we're going to find out. Dylan Larkin skating the puck back into his own zone. Don't really know what he's doing here. But here goes Hughes. I don't know which of the Hughes brothers it is. I'm going to be honest, I forget. But that doesn't matter. Gustafsson's making the save here. Still have lots of time left here. What a surprise, Matt Rempe second in penalty minutes, so that means he took a penalty in this game, and Pittsburgh scored on one of those power plays. So I guess the statement I brought up earlier is true, and just like that, Rupe Hintz is scoring a goal. Alright, Pittsburgh's falling. So Washington, you're getting lucky here. Even with the Matt Rempe penalties, you're still going to find a way to come out on top. So the Washington Capitals are going to beat the Pittsburgh Penguins. Matt Rempe, yeah, you hurt the Washington Capitals a little bit there, but I guess it wasn't enough for you guys to lose the game. Pittsburgh's going to be eliminated. So Washington, you got really lucky. What can I say here? Matt Rempe negatively impacted your team, but you still found a way to win. The Calgary Flames are going to be the next team on the attack. We've already seen them in one matchup. We haven't seen them attack. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they took on Edmonton. There's a very real chance to take on Edmonton. So Calgary, if you head north, you're going to be taking on the Edmonton Oilers, but it doesn't look like that's happening. You're heading southeast. Now, since we're basing off the logo, southeast is just going to hit the corner of Saskatchewan, so that's what they're going to be getting. So Calgary got themselves a free province. It's time to spin the wheel again. It looks like they're going to be heading east, so they are going to be getting into a matchup, but they're actually going to be avoiding Edmonton here. On top of avoiding Edmonton, they're also avoiding the Winnipeg Jets because they've already fallen. Instead, we have Calgary versus Minnesota. So Calgary and Minnesota. Both of these teams have already been involved in a matchup, so we don't have to look at the rosters. Teuvo Teravainen's picking up the first goal, but Jason Robertson is going to be able to respond. And in the second period, once again, Teuvo Teravainen's going to find the back of the net, but Bo Horvat's going to be responding this time. We're going to have ourselves a tie game entering the third period, but Kirill Kaprizov's going to find the back of the net. I completely forgot he was on the Minnesota Wild. Joel Eriksson is also here, so Minnesota, they got two of their top players, but can they close out in the final minutes of this one? We're going to have to wait and see. We just hit the 2-minute mark, a minute 46 left in this one. It's still a one-goal game. That's the one thing I love about the fantasy draft. Every single one of these games has been close, except the St. Louis game, which we don't talk about. So Calgary is the team that needs to pick up a quick goal here, but what are they doing? Well, they're just spending all their time in the defensive zone here. Minnesota is controlling the pace right now, and Clayton Keller is going to have a great opportunity, but he's going to send it over to Kaprizov. Kaprizov, a great chance right there, but Gibson's keeping his Calgary Flames alive. So we have 40 seconds left. Minnesota is going to win the draw. They're sending it over to Clayton Keller. If he got that on target, more than likely we would be looking at a goal. But you know what? Calgary's going to stay alive here, but they're not really doing too much. Like, this team can't get the puck out of the defensive zone. Kirill Kaprizov's collecting behind the net. Dylan Stromsgard going to send over to Fabro. Fabro over to Kaprizov. He's over to Edmondson. Over to Clayton Keller. Kaprizov, a great chance. Calgary's picking up a penalty. This game is over. Like, this game is done. Another shot's going to be thrown towards the net here. Cale Makar, 2 minutes for tripping. We don't even have to watch the rest of this game. We still will, but yeah, this one's over. So Calgary has one chance right here, and they're going to turn it over. Yeah, this game's over. Calgary, you're losing to Minnesota 3-2. You guys weren't even competitive in those final 2 minutes. It was all Minnesota. So Minnesota with another great defense. Look at all that territory they're gaining. If Edmonton ever goes on the attack, we already know who they're taking on. Unless Minnesota loses all that territory, because you never know what can happen. So another team's going to be falling, and it's going to be another Canadian team. It's time for us to move on to our next matchup. Washington's already had one defense, so now it's time for them to go on the attack. So Washington, are you going to be taking on a team that's already attacked? You're going to be heading mainly north, and it looks like you will be. Whether it's mainly north north or northeast, it doesn't really matter. We have Washington versus Philadelphia, two teams that have already been in matchups. So Washington versus Philly. Washington, are you going to lose this game because Matt Rempe is going to take a stupid penalty, potentially? DeBrincat and Rupe Hintz are exchanging goals in the first period. In the second, it's going to be a scoreless one. So who would have seen this coming? A close game to finish it out. But Carter Yakimchuk, of all players, is picking up a massive goal here. Bro's like a 73 overall, and then 93 overall, Josh Morrissey is responding. I don't think Josh Morrissey is 93 overall, but you get the point. 73 overall, 93 overall. Big difference when it comes to the defense between these two teams, but who cares if the defense is different? It's a close battle here. Rempe probably just took a penalty there. It doesn't matter. Washington's going to kill that penalty off. A tie game entering the final minute. It's all coming down to this. So Washington's getting a bit of pressure on right now. A nice little pass to Matthew Nyes, and he's going to rip that into the back net. A late goal for the Washington Capitals is going to be scored from Matthew Nyes. 31 seconds left in this one. Washington should have it in the bag unless they play some atrocious defense, but what great passing from the Washington Capitals there. Matthew Nyes finding a little bit of space, and that's going to be the difference maker. So of course, Philly's going to be pulling the goaltender here. Drake Batherson, you should have shot at the empty net. Are you stupid? Luckily, Jake DeBrusk is going to be there, but let's look at that instant replay. Drake Batherson, 0 IQ. That man might have negative IQ, unless that was the play. If that was the play, that was 200 IQ. But I'm sorry, you could just tee this up into the back of the net. Like, bro is not blocking this. I don't know who that is. Which defenseman dropped like that? Josh Morrissey. You are not blocking this shot. But Drake Batherson, you have a wide open net here. Instead, he's going to ring it around the boards here. But honestly, bro might have been cooking because Drake Batherson does get to that loose puck and then he scores. So yeah, maybe that was the plan all along. But at the end of the day, that wasn't the greatest plan in the world. It was a risky one. So that's a big victory for the Washington Capitals. Somehow Matt Rempe continues to actually be a decent player for them. I shouldn't say that though, because we don't know how many penalties that man's taken. Because you know for a fact, bro's not doing anything other than taking penalties. That's what Matt Rempe does. I don't even know why he's in the NHL. I'm going to be honest. No, like real talk, Matt Rempe is just a significantly worse Ryan Reeves. I feel like that's what Matt Rempe is. Like if you were to ask me who do I want, Matt Rempe or Ryan Reeves, I'm taking Ryan Reeves. I just feel like Matt Rempe brings nothing to your team. You know what? I think I've done enough ripping on Matt Rempe. The Nashville Predators are the next team on the attack. So Nashville, my guess is you're going to take on the Carolina Hurricanes. You're heading southeast. I think that's just giving you a free state. And you know what, Nashville? That's exactly what it's giving you. A free state. So let's go ahead, spin the arrow again and see what we're going to get here. It looks like we're heading directly north. So what does directly north give this team? Another free state. What a surprise. Nashville's always that team that's going to claim like 5 or 6 free states before they get into a matchup, but I actually have to take that back. They're only claiming 2 free states before getting into a matchup. So we already know who Nashville's taking on. It was the team I predicted, Nashville versus Carolina. It was almost guaranteed to happen. So the Nashville Predators have some interesting pieces. Vincent Trocheck, Chris Kreider, Sean Couturier, Sean Monahan, Slafkovsky. I wouldn't say this team has a superstar on their forward core, but they certainly have a bunch of guys that can definitely play their role here. And as long as you have players playing their role, you're going to be in a great spot. When it comes to the defense, incredible. Victor Hedman, Spurgeon, Falk, Brodin, Matheson, Borgren. That's the best defense in the entire league, no question about it. Then you have 91 overall Thatcher Demko. So as long as the forward core can probably score 2 goals per game, you're going to win because your defense is going to be immaculate. Carolina, on the other hand, they took the other approach. They brought in superstar players. Nathan McKinnon, Robert Thomas, Carver Hagee, Dylan Gunther. Okay, Dylan Gunther isn't a superstar, but Robert Thomas certainly is. Bjorkstrand, Patty Kane, they have a lot of big-time players here. When it comes to the defense, not nearly as good. Darnell Nurse, Aaron Ekblad, superstar defenseman Brandon Carlo, an offensive defensive defenseman, if you know, you know. And then in between the pipes, they have Joseph Wall. Not the greatest team in the world here, but you know what? You definitely have some guys that can score in the big time moments for you. So I guess this one's really just going to come down to defense. Who's going to be the better defensive team? All right, so it's a battle of 2 great defensive teams. Mason Appleton and Slafkovsky are starting the scoring off here, but Chatfield is going to be picking up 1 goal in between those 2 guys. When it comes to the second period, Holtz is going to be picking up another one here. So I think it's safe to say Nashville's got this one handled unless Carolina gets the offense going. And you know what? That's the one thing I said about that Nashville Predators team. As long as they can score 2 or 3 goals, they're certainly going to be winning games here, and that's exactly what's happening. They're taking this one 3-1. It was that defense that made the big difference. Now Carolina, you knew heading into that game, if you wanted to beat the Nashville Predators, you had to be elite defensively. You know what? You were okay defensively, but it just wasn't good enough. You're dropping that one 3-2, and Nashville's going to be staying alive. So we have 12 teams left on the wheel here, so it's time for us to give it another spin. And it looks like we're going to be heading back up to Canada. We have the Montreal Canadiens. So there's not really that many teams that the Montreal Canadiens can take on, but we're definitely going to begin to match up from this arrow spin. Yeah, so that thing about me saying, oh yeah, they're definitely getting into a matchup, I lied. But in situations like that, you just got to give the arrow another spin here, and they're going to be headed basically in the exact same direction. All right then. So what does that do? It just gives Montreal another free state. And you know what? Since we're at it, they surround this entire state right here. I'm just giving it to them. They controlled all the land around it, so they might as well get it. It looks like this team's going to be heading southwest, and we're finally getting a matchup. So it looks like the Montreal Canadiens are going to take themselves into Buffalo Sabres territory, and that means we're going to have the Habs taking on the Sabres. So the Montreal Canadiens went down the route of bringing a lot of young players to the team. You got Alex Lafreniere, you got Leo Carlsson, Matt Coronado, Connor Geeky, then you have Marty Necas and Barbashev. And that's really the entire forward core, so that's not looking that great. Defensively, you have a lot of young pieces as well. Rasmus Dahlin, Bo Byram, Cam Fowler's one of the oldest players on your team at 32 years old. Hopefully you have a superstar goaltender. 89 overall, Jacob Markstrom's not the end of the world here, but Montreal's not giving me a lot of confidence. So Buffalo, you should be able to take down the Montreal Canadiens. Okay, yep, this game's over. 4 goals in the first period, 1 goal in the second. This one's over. Buffalo's taking 5-1. That may be one of the quickest games we've seen. So Montreal was absolutely dominated by the Buffalo Sabres. They didn't stand a chance, allowing 4 goals in the first period. Truthfully, that really didn't surprise me that much. So Montreal, that was a poor showing from you guys. You didn't even put up a fight. Then again, are we really surprised? Like, that wasn't a good Montreal team. So we have Chicago on the attack next. We're not going to talk about how they've already won 1 game. It just hurts my soul. But Chicago's going to start off by heading southwest. And you know what? That's going to give them this state right here. So yeah, they're just kind of threading the needle in between these 2 free states. But you know what? They're still going to be getting one. So let's give the arrow another spin here and figure out where Chicago's going to be going next. It looks like it's going to be northeast, the complete opposite direction. And what is the complete opposite direction going to be giving them? Well, it's just going to be giving them another free state. If they were to get to Detroit territory, they would have had to jump water, so it just makes sense for them to get that free state. So we got arrow spin number 3. What's next for the Chicago Blackhawks? Southeast. This team is doing everything in their power right now to avoid a matchup. You know what? That's no longer going to be happening. Southeast is going to be sending them into Nashville Predator territory, so that's where our matchup's going to be. 2 Central Division teams, Nashville versus Chicago. So we got Chicago and Nashville, 2 Central Division teams, as I just mentioned. Chicago's going to be picking up the first 2 goals, but Chris Carter is going to find a way to respond. It's been a pretty close game so far. Vincent Trocheck's picking up a massive goal late in the second period to keep Nashville in this game, so they still have a chance. However, the one problem with the Nashville Predators, they're not the greatest offensively, and now that they're trailing by 2 goals, I don't think they're making the comeback here. Berkeley Catton's picking up 2 massive goals in this game. Berkeley Catton really led the way here. Out of all players, it was Berkeley Catton. Ain't no way. So Nashville, it looks like that defense is falling apart when it mattered most. You just didn't have an answer for Berkeley Catton. 73 overall. Berkeley Catton, you didn't have an answer for. It's not like you didn't have an answer for one of the best in the game like Leon Draisaitl, Connor McDavid, Nathan McKinnon. Nope, you didn't have an answer for Berkeley Catton. Ain't no way. So another team's going to be following here, and we're down to our final 10 on the wheel. We got the Seattle Kraken. We're moving back over to the West Coast. I think I know who they're going to be taking on. Now, I wouldn't say that this is going to be a wild guess or anything, but if they head anywhere north, it is very clear who they're taking on. So if the Seattle Kraken go north, they're taking on Minnesota. If they go northwest, they're taking on Minnesota. If they go northeast, they're taking on Minnesota. So what if I told you Seattle's taking on Minnesota? I think it's pretty obvious. So the Seattle Kraken are a very different team than you see today. Tage Thompson, Mitch Marner, and Marchenko are going to be the top line. Then it's going to be Wenberg, Philip Hedl, and Kirby Dach on the second line. The fourth line's looking really weak here. You have Nathan Gaucher, a 72 overall. Definitely not somebody you want on your fourth line. Taking a look at the defense, Morgan Riley's leading the way at an 88 overall. You got Liljegren, you got Sanderson, Lundqvist, Mateychuk. Mateychuk definitely not ready for the NHL quite yet. In the future, he'd be a good addition to the team, but not right now. And then goaltending, my biggest ops. If you don't know, you know. But Dustin Wolf, you and I aren't seeing eye to eye right now. So truthfully, I would not be surprised if Minnesota won 7-0 in this game, and I also wouldn't be surprised if Seattle won 7-0 just because of Dustin Wolf. Seattle's picking up 2 goals in the first period. Dylan Strom's picking up 1 from Minnesota. Joel Eriksson next going to be picking up a big goal for the Wild, so we got a tie game entering the third period. So the third period is seeing a couple quick goals. Wenberg's picking up a goal. Sharon Govich is picking up a goal, but it doesn't matter because it's still going to be a tie game. It could be 0-0 for all I care. We might be headed to overtime here. However, there is a bit of time left in regulation, so we have to see what happens there first. So we're down to the final minute. Matthias Samuelsson's bringing the puck in. Texier is going to have a great chance. Sharon Govich is going to collect it. He's going to send it back. Cotter is taking a shot from the point, but it looks like Seattle's going to get it out of the zone here, but it is going to be icing or not. Why is that not icing? I don't know, but it probably should be. Texey's got the puck and he's looking to turn on the Jets here, giving it up to Sharon Govich. Sharon Govich is looking for a free man, but you know what? He's got some space here. He's got away from the defense. Texey, another great opportunity, but Dustin Wolf's making a save. I'm really surprised at that. What kind of a goal did I just witness? A double deflection from Morgan Rielly. That's going to be the winner for the Seattle Kraken. What a goal from Morgan Rielly. It deflects off one player. It deflects off another. I think it might have been a triple deflection there. We might have just saw a triple deflection from Morgan Rielly. No, that is the luckiest goal we are seeing today. That might be luckier than Tyler Toffoli's weak backhander that ended up in the back of the net. What did I just witness? So Morgan Rielly's going to tee this one up from the point. It's going to work its way towards the net. That's one deflection off a Minnesota Wild player. Then it's going to deflect off another Minnesota Wild player into the back of the net. Originally, I thought it went off this Minnesota Wild player, off this Kraken player, then off this Wild player. But nope, off back-to-back Minnesota Wild players into the back of the net. What a tough break for Minnesota Wild fans, but that's your winner. So in a very unlikely fashion, it looks like the Seattle Kraken are going to be winning that game. And look at all this territory they now own. Minnesota, you should have won that game, but you got so incredibly unlucky. What kind of a deflection was that for the Kraken? No, there's nothing you can do about that. That's just a tough loss. So we've seen a lot of crazy goals in this video, and I mean a ton of crazy goals. So I guess we're about to find out if we're going to see another crazy one in this next matchup. Detroit's going to be attacking. Now, like real talk, we have seen stupid goal after stupid goal, and it's getting ridiculous. We're going to be heading mainly east, but slightly south in the process, but I don't think that really changes anything. The slightly south part doesn't really change the matchup whatsoever. It's still going to be Detroit taking on Buffalo. So at face value, you might be thinking this Detroit Red Wings team doesn't really stand a chance. You don't have that many superstars. Yeah, you have Kyle Connor here. You got a young piece in Logan Stankoven, but it's not looking too great. Then here's the defense. You have Shea Theodore, Seth Jones, Brady Shea, Hampus Lindholm, Gavrikov, Cale Fleury. That's actually a pretty solid defense. Then in between the pipes, 90 overall Sorokin. This team is going to live or die by their defense. So we have the Red Wings taking on the Buffalo Sabres, and as I said, the Red Wings are only winning this matchup if their defense is amazing. And you know what? 2 goals to start it off. I wasn't expecting the offense to be this good, but hey, I'll definitely take 2 goals for the Red Wings. But you can never count out Andrei Burakovsky. Buffalo's not messing around here. It's a 2-2 game, and like always, the third period is going to be deciding it. But I might have to take that statement back. We're down to the final 7 minutes, and then Lindholm's immediately scoring. I was about to say maybe the third period's not going to decide this one. We might need overtime. But Elias Lindholm, a massive goal here, and now we're going to jump into the final couple minutes. Because based on what we saw in that Seattle Kraken Minnesota Wild game, you need to jump in the final couple minutes because you never know what type of a goal you're going to be seeing. Now, Buffalo is just plain stupid. They're picking up a penalty. Connor Clifton, I believe it was a trip behind the net. That is a brain dead play. Never mind boarding. That was just plain stupid. An incredibly stupid play from Connor Clifton right there. Buffalo's lost. Just because of that right there, Buffalo's going to be losing this game. Now, the fact that Buffalo has to kill off a penalty is certainly hurting them, but they're finally going to be pulling the goaltender, so maybe they're going to have enough time. I take it back. They're about to allow a goal. Max Domi's going to pass over to Lindholm. He's going to bury it into the empty net, and just like that, Detroit's taking down Buffalo. So Connor Clifton was really selling for the Buffalo Sabres there. They were in a great spot to win that game, but he took a stupid penalty there, and that's what's going to be costing them this one. So we're down another team here. Detroit's going to be taking down the Buffalo Sabres. We're going to be sticking in the Eastern Conference, though, because now Columbus is going to be attacking. So I don't believe we've seen Columbus in a matchup yet, so it's going to be our first look at their team, and they're going to start off by going south. Now, Columbus, it might be your first matchup, but the team you're taking on, not quite theirs. You have the Blackhawks to face. Now, the Blue Jackets did have themselves a pretty solid draft pick, so that means they're going to be bringing Matthew Tkachuk to the team. They're also going to have Kent Johnson and Cole Caulfield, so that's actually a really good first line. When it comes to the second line, though, the team's in a little bit of trouble. Sonny Milano, you're not the ideal number 2 left winger, but you know what? Columbus has to work with what they got here. The bottom 6, not the greatest, but you do have an 85 overall. When it comes to the defense, yikes. Riker Evans definitely can't be your number 1 right defenseman. You're definitely not in a great spot here. And then when it comes to goaltending, oh yeah, this team's cooked. So Chicago, you guys should be the heavy favorite in this game. Cardwell's picking up the first goal. Okay, maybe I've just completely forgot who's on the Chicago Blackhawks team because I wasn't expecting Cardwell to be picking up a goal here. At one point, Chicago did have a 2-goal lead, but they're choking that one away. So what a surprise. We have a tie heading into the third period. period. So it looks like the third period is going to be all Chicago. They're picking up 2 massive goals from 2 of their stars, Jake Getzel, Dave Pastrnak. No point jumping into the final seconds of this one. Chicago's going to be taking it forward too. So are we really surprised at that? Not whatsoever. The Chicago Blackhawks were clearly a better team than the Columbus Blue Jackets. Columbus really didn't have too much there. So I'm not going to lie, Edmonton, you have surprised me. You are surrounded by teams, yet you never end up in a matchup. The Anaheim Ducks, on the other hand, you are also surrounded by teams, and I'm a bit surprised you haven't ended up in a matchup. But that's about to change with the Anaheim Ducks. No matter what spin we get here, they're going to be heading into a matchup, and it looks like they're heading northwest. So what is Northwest going to be doing for the Anaheim Ducks? Well, that's pretty clear. They're taking on the LA Kings. So the Anaheim Ducks, once again, they're going to have a lot of young talent here, but they actually have good young talent for once. Jack Hughes, Lafreniere, Sam Bennett, not really young talent, but you know he's going to help the team. Ryan Strome still here. Jordan Eberle's joining. Matt Zuccarello's joining. This team isn't in a terrible spot. I wouldn't say the Anaheim Ducks are great by any means, but they're not too bad. When it comes to the defense, there's only one guy we care about here. I'm talking Racco Gudas. The captain is still around for the Anaheim Ducks. Does this team have a good goaltender? They have 88 overall Linus Allmark. This team doesn't really have any weaknesses. Like, you have some great forwards on the team. You have a solid defense. You have great goaltending, but it's the Anaheim Ducks. They'll still find a way to fold. Now, I want to say Anaheim should be the favorite based on the talent they have, but then again, the LA Kings have won a handful of matchups, so you can't doubt them. There was a lot of goals scored during the second period here. Lafreniere and Jake Evans for the Anaheim Ducks, Hollander, Trevor Zegras, Brad Marchand for the LA Kings. So once again, the LA Kings are going to have the lead, and they're going to extend that lead. A massive Jesper Bratt goal. Never dealt the LA Kings. We're just assuming the rest of this game. Honsek's picking up a goal. It's going 6-3 to the LA Kings. The second I doubted the LA Kings, they scored 6 goals. Never doubt the Kings. So with the way I was talking, you would have thought the Anaheim Ducks would have been the favorite, but nope. That team is absolutely dominated, and they're going to be falling here in their first matchup. So we're just about done with our first round of matchups. We're moving on to our next wheel spin, and we're going to see another Eastern Conference team. We got the New York Rangers. The fact that Edmonton has been able to stay alive this long still amazes me. Like, they are literally 100% surrounded, but yet they keep avoiding matchups. But you know who else is surrounded by a ton of teams? The New York Rangers, and it looks like they're going to be starting off by going south. But not only was it south, it was also east in the process, so that means we got the New York Rangers taking on the Boston Bruins. So we finally get to take a look at the New York Rangers here, and outside Sebastian Aho and William Nylander, this team doesn't really have any superstars, but they do have Connor McMichael and they do have Jake Neighbors, so maybe I have to take that back. Look at these 2 star players in the second and third line. They might have something. And hold on, I completely missed somebody, Tommy Novak as well. Nah, the Rangers are the favorite. With Tommy Novak, Jake Neighbors, and Connor McMichael, no one's going to be able to stop this team. I don't care if you have David Reinbacher on your third pairing, 74 overall David Reinbacher, it doesn't matter. You got Dougie Hamilton, and then in between the pipes, Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. I feel like this team should be significantly better with the amount of low overall players here. Like, how do you have this many 70 overalls, but you only have like 3 star players? It doesn't make sense. Actually, I have to take that back. They have multiple star players. Connor McMichael, Jake Neighbors, Tommy Novak. Can't forget about these guys. So the Rangers definitely have some questionable players on the bottom 6. No, they don't. Tommy Novak's coming in clutch. He's scoring big time goals. It is now 4-4. What a collapse that was. I thought we were going to see a blowout here. We haven't seen that many blowouts. And then the Boston Bruins made that big comeback. But look at William Nylander picking up a massive goal to start the third period. The Rangers have the lead once again. And you know what? They're going to continue to expand on that lead. Dougie Hamilton, a massive goal. He's picking up one on Kevin Lankinen. We're entering the final 6 minutes. I don't think Boston's going to make a comeback. It's safe to say we can simulate the rest of this game. And that's what we're doing. The Rangers are coming out on top 6-4. And I think I can confidently say this was an upset. So the Boston Bruins are finally going to fall here. And I guess there is one lone good thing. Carter Hart's eliminated. Yeah, we can celebrate that for sure. So the Rangers won their first matchup, and you know it was a big win for them. We're moving back over to the Western Conference, and we got the San Jose Sharks. But then again, are we really surprised? Like, if Tommy Novak's picking up goals, you're bound to win some games. The San Jose Sharks are heading directly north, and we already know that's going to be a matchup for them. Or at least it would have been if this state was already claimed. San Jose's getting lucky here. So in reality, it's between 2 teams, the Seattle Kraken and the LA Kings. Northeast actually gives them another free state, I think. But maybe not, because if we're going off where the logo is, if this team were to head directly north, that's going to give them this free state that I already claimed. I think they're going through some LA territory here, so I think we got the San Jose Sharks taking on the LA Kings. They're just clipping the edge of that LA territory, but they're still entering it. San Jose versus LA. So it's very clear the San Jose Sharks are going to live or die by their top guys. Barkov, Hyman, Jarvis, Wilson, Heischer, and then we're not going to talk about the bottom 6 because that's basically non-existent. When it comes to the defense, you have Sanheim, you have Chikrin, you have Bedard Docker, you have a 64 overall I've never heard of. Shout out to Bro right here, 64 overall, but that's definitely going to hurt the Sharks. You have Joel Holford between the pipes as your starting goaltender. Yeah, let's get this over with quick. All right, so I don't think San Jose has a chance at winning this game, but then again, if the big-time players show up for them, they do have a chance. They're exchanging goals with the LA Kings in the first period. In the second, once again, they're going to be exchanging goals. Nico Hischier's coming up big for this team, but some of the other star players have to start doing something. No, like, I'm sorry. There's no way the San Jose Sharks are being competitive in this game. Brad Marchand's going to give the LA Kings the lead, but it's still not enough here. It's a one-goal game. Anything can happen. San Jose can still make the comeback, and with 1 minute left in this game, we might as well jump into it. So San Jose's pulled the goalie here, and they're looking to create some offense, and look at that massive save by Lucas Dostal. So San Jose's got the net pulled. They got the full pressure meter maxed out. They're doing everything in their power to get shots on net. Their team went up from the point. It's going to be stopped by Lucas Dostal. Lucas Dostal is stealing this game. Hogan just bringing the puck out. He's going to send over to Zegras. Zegras over to Ross Colton, and Ross Colton should be able to bury this one. Yes, he is. He's going to put it into the empty net, and just like that, the LA Kings are taking this one. So it wasn't much of a surprise, but it still was a little bit because I thought the LA Kings were going to absolutely dominate that game, and they didn't really do that. But the San Jose Sharks are still going to be falling, and LA is going to claim some more land. So out of our final 3 NHL teams, 2 of them haven't been in matchups yet. We have the Edmonton Oilers taking on the Seattle Kraken. They literally have no other option. Like, seriously, what is Edmonton going to do? Take on the Ottawa Senators? Take on the LA Kings? They are 100% surrounded. It's Edmonton versus Seattle. Now, the Edmonton Oilers might have lost Connor McDavid, but instead they have Sidney Crosby, Alexander Ovechkin, Philip Forsberg, and Nick Schmaltz. Throwing Nick Schmaltz in that sentence probably isn't right, but you know what? Crosby and Ovi on the same team together, that's going to be must-see hockey. The defense, a lot to be desired. Yeah, the defense for the Edmonton Oilers not looking good here. Goaltending, though, they do have Shesterkin. So although the defense isn't the best, you have an elite goaltender. You have 3 amazing forwards on that first line. They might be able to do something. I highly doubt it, but they might be able to. I think the lack of depth is just going to hurt this team too much. So Edmonton with that first line, I think you might be able to see some success here. However, when it comes to every other line and the defense, massive question marks for this team. You do have the goaltender, though, and that's going to help. Alexander Ovechkin's going to be picking up a massive goal. Marchenko's picking up one for the Seattle Kraken. It's a tie game. The third period is going to be deciding this one. And it's not going to take long in the third period. Philip Forsberg's picking up a massive goal. Edmonton's taking that 1-goal lead, but Liljegren's going to be taking that lead away, and now we have a tie game once again. But that lead's not lasting for long. We just keep going back and forth here. Ovi's picking up a power play goal. Ovi's got another goal. He's got the hat trick in this game, and I think it's safe to say this game's over. Seattle's not making the comeback. Shout out to Alexander Ovechkin, a massive hat trick for the Edmonton Oilers, and that's got to be a huge upset right there. Like, yeah, the Edmonton Oilers had an amazing first line, but when it came to basically every other aspect of the game for this team besides goaltending, wasn't looking that great. They didn't have a great bottom 9. They didn't have a great defense, but Ovi's going to show up when it matters most. He's picking up a hat trick, and it looks like Edmonton's going to be staying alive here, and they're also going to be gaining a ton of land. Look at all that land Edmonton owns now. They're cooking. So we're down to our final 2 teams on the wheel, and it looks like it's going to be the Tampa Bay Lightning attacking next. But when it comes to the Tampa Bay Lightning, we actually don't have to waste too much time here. There's really only one team they can take on. That's the Chicago Blackhawks. There is no other way for them to take anyone else on. So we have Tampa versus Chicago. So we have 2 teams that we've already seen before in the Tampa Bay Lightning and Chicago Blackhawks. Mikko Rantanen's going to be the big player for Tampa, and he's picking up the first goal here. And it looks like Mikko Rantanen's just going to keep on scoring. He's got a hat trick in the second period. Bro really had a hat trick 2 minutes and 5 seconds into the second period. He's just scoring goals like crazy, and this game's over. Tampa's going to be closing the door in the third period. They might not be scoring, but neither is Chicago. They're taking it 4-1. This was the Mikko Rantanen show. No, that was really all Tampa Bay. Chicago didn't stand a chance, but I shouldn't say that was all Tampa Bay. That was all Mikko Rantanen. Bro stepped up in the big time moments. He saw what Alexander Ovechkin did in that last matchup, and he's like, no, I'm going to do the exact same thing, and I'm going to allow my team to win. So there's one team left on the wheel. They haven't been involved in a matchup yet. It's the Ottawa Senators. The Senators only have 2 options for who they're going to be taking on. It looks like they're going to be taking on the Edmonton Oilers. I think Southwest actually makes it a little interesting. I take that back. Southwest does not make it interesting whatsoever. That is clearly Edmonton territory. So yeah, we have Ottawa versus Edmonton. Now the Ottawa Senators don't have a superstar like Sidney Crosby, Alexander Ovechkin, or Mikko Rantanen, but they do have a great player here in Mark Scheifele at 91 overall. They also have a lot of forward depth, so that's going to be helping them a ton here. When it comes to the defense, a lot of depth. You have Neil Pionk, you have Miro Heiskanen, 2 great players. Then you have defensive depth here. When it comes to goaltending, that's maybe where you're lacking. Spencer Knight and Tristan Jarry are 2 go-to options if only you had a better goaltender. But then again, you have depth throughout the entire lineup, and that's going to help a ton. So our first round's finally coming to an end between the Ottawa Senators and Edmonton Oilers. The one thing you have to know about the Edmonton Oilers, very top-heavy here, but you know what? That continues to work out for them. Alexander Ovechkin, Sidney Crosby are going to be the goal scorers for Edmonton. Sammy Blais is going to be the goal scorer for the Ottawa Senators. Ottawa's just got to get that depth going. If their offensive depth doesn't start scoring here, they're going to be in trouble. And it looks like that offensive depth that the Ottawa Senators have just isn't showing up yet. There's a minute 48 left in this game. They're still trailing by 1 goal. They better find an answer quick. So time's winding down for the Ottawa Senators. They haven't been able to do too much. Look at Luke Hughes. I think that might be the first empty net goal we've seen in the neutral zone. Bro sniped that one. Show to Luke Hughes. Bro locked in the big time moments and scored an empty net goal. Yes, we're getting hyped over an empty net goal because those don't happen too often. Most of the time teams are missing those. But bro sniped that top right corner. Shoot or shoot, man, and that's what he's doing. So with that big overtime goal from Luke Hughes, just like that, the Ottawa Senators are going to be eliminated, and we're officially done with the first round here, and now it's time to move on to the final 10, or however many teams we have left. I'm just assuming it's around 10. So with that massive goal from Luke Hughes, the Ottawa Senators are going to be eliminated, and just like that, the first round's over. Now we're getting into some real great matchups, and we're going to figure out who's going to be able to come out on top. So we have 6 teams left in NHL Imperialism here, and it looks like it's going to be the Tampa Bay Lightning, one of the last teams we just saw. They're going to be attacking first. Now there's still a lot of free states around the Tampa Bay Lightning, so we could be here for a bit, but we're starting off by heading north. So as I said, Tampa's going to be claiming a couple free states here, and this is the first one they're getting. So we got Aerospin number 2 here, and where is that going to be sending us? North once again. I don't think that's leading us into a matchup. I think we're just getting another free state. And you know what? That's exactly what's happening for the Tampa Bay Lightning. Another free state here. So we got Aerospin number 3. What's this one going to be telling us? Directly north once again. And if we were to head directly north from the Tampa Bay logo, what does that give us? Another free state. That's going to be Tampa's 3rd free state here, but I think we're very close to a matchup. So we're going to give Tampa another spin here. What is that going to be giving us? We're taking this as a matchup. This is close enough to a matchup. Now, you know what? We're going to say this is close enough to a matchup. Technically, we would end up in the ocean, but we could be here for hours. Tampa's taking on Washington. So this is a big matchup right here. One of these teams is going to be staying alive, and it's going to be the Tampa Bay Lightning. This game's already over. Washington didn't stand a chance. Like, nah, that team got smoked. Well, I can confidently say that was our fastest matchup by far. Washington's eliminated just like that. So with the Washington Capitals eliminated, we're down to 5 teams with only 4 are left on the wheel, and it looks like we're moving over to the West Coast, and we got the LA Kings. So there's a very high chance that the LA Kings will probably take on the Edmonton Oilers, but maybe not. They're heading southeast. Now, Southeast was very close to a matchup. If this free state wasn't there, LA was taking on Tampa. So LA was able to avoid Tampa once, but are they going to be able to do it again? I think they are. I think this is another free state for them. And you know what? That's exactly what it is for the LA Kings. They're going to be claiming this free state right here, so they continue to pick up free land. But that's not going to last forever. Eventually, they will get into a matchup here, and I think that's going to be happening right here. And you know what? That's exactly what's happening. LA is going to be taking on the Tampa Bay Lightning here. Originally, I thought they were going to be taking on the Edmonton Oilers, but then I completely forgot about all this land right here that they would have had to get through. Like, they would have had to claim all of this in order to get to Edmonton. So yeah, that's not happening. We have LA versus Tampa. So Tampa's coming off a massive victory over the Washington Capitals. Can they keep the goal scoring going? Yes, they can. This team just can't stop scoring right now, and I think it's safe to say they're going to be winning this game unless the LA Kings make some amazing comeback. They're picking up a goal pretty early in the 3rd period, so it is still possible here, but time is running out for the LA Kings. Are they going to get one in the next 3 minutes or so here? It doesn't look like it. Tampa's on the power play, but it might not be over. LA's making a huge comeback here, and they've made the comeback. We're entering the final 2 minutes. 52 seconds left. It's a tie game. The LA Kings are doing the impossible. We're off to overtime. Well, I shouldn't say that. There's 52 seconds left. I wouldn't be surprised if LA scored again here. So we got 30 seconds left. That was a bad turnover in the offensive zone there. Zach Werenski's team went up, but that shot's going to be blocked. And now Jesper Bratt's bringing the puck into the neutral zone. He's in the offensive zone. He is cooking all the way through. Bobrovsky's making a big save. 21 seconds left in this one. So we're down to the final 10 seconds. Werenski's got the puck. He's sending it over to Kopitar. Kopitar giving it to Doughty. Mikko Ran's going to get a last second shot off here, but it's going to be a massive save by Lucas Dostal. We're off to overtime. I didn't think we'd be head to overtime in this game, but here we are. The impossible has happened. So Travis Konecny's going to start off overtime by getting himself a breakaway, but he's not going to be able to capitalize on it. He's going to keep the puck in the offensive zone, though, and he's got it back. He's sending it over. I believe that was Mikko Rantanen. Did they decide to play that? If the ref doesn't blow that down, that's an easy goal. But man, that was such a bad decision right there. So if Tampa wins the draw, they're going to go to work here, and they'll probably even cap out the full pressure meter. Travis Konecny's going to turn it over, and now they got numbers. Here goes the LA Kings. Jesper Bratt might have a step on the defense. It looks like he does, but he's going to turn the puck over. Couldn't get a shot off. McAvoy's got the puck, though, and he's looking to create something. Bobrovsky, a big-time save there. We have 3 minutes left in OT. So 3 minutes left in overtime. This is going to be a big face-off. When they had a chance, Brad Marchand should have taken the shot. I don't know why he didn't shoot there. He had the puck on his stick. He was in a great spot, but he elected to pass, and that's not really working out for them. So we'll see if LA can win another face-off here. Doesn't look like it, but they're going to keep control of the puck. And Charlie McAvoy, he's looking to keep the puck in the zone, but he's going to turn it over. Here goes Huberdeau. He's working his way into the slot. He's going to pass it off to Kopitar. His shot's going to be blocked, though. He hit Huberdeau. Bro hit his own player. Ain't no way. But if LA breaks this out correctly, they could have numbers here. Here goes Charlie McAvoy dishing over to Zegras. Zegras up to Brad Marchand. A chance to win the game here, but he's not going to be able to do it. However, they have maxed out that full pressure bar, and they got to capitalize on this. But I don't think they're going to be able to. Tampa's going to get the puck out here, and they're going to get this into the offensive zone. Then they're going to go to work here. They have numbers. Renski's taking the shot. Dostal's making a big save. Now they got the full pressure mirror maxed out, but that's not going to matter because here goes the LA Kings. Brad Marchand, another breakaway. Can he score this time? He's taking the shot. No, he can't. This game is going back and forth. Brant Clark's got the puck. He's looking to create something, but he's going to draw a penalty. LA's got a power play here for 34.5 seconds. They have enough time to create something. Now, I'm actually surprised here. On the power play so far, Tampa's the team that's pressing. Lucas Dostal making a big save, but here we go. The LA Kings got numbers, and they're ready to go to work. Brant Clark sending over to Ryan Donato of all players. Why is he out here in this situation? I don't know, but Bobrovsky's making another massive save. So we're in the final 5 seconds. I don't think LA is going to be able to create anything, but maybe not. Charlie McAvoy, a last second shot. It's not going to be enough. Bobrovsky's making a big time save, and now we're off to the shootout. So we've made it to a shootout. The LA Kings made a massive comeback, but can they continue to build on that momentum? Jesper Bratt's going to be starting off with a massive goal here. That's huge for the LA Kings. We'll see if Tampa can respond. So Mikko Rantanen's going to be the first shooter for the Tampa Bay Lightning, and he's got to score right here, and that's exactly what he's doing. Lucas Dostal, you should have made the save there, but he's going to be messing up big time. So each team scored once here. We'll see who's going to be scoring the next one. So here goes Brad Marchand. Can he score for the LA Kings? It doesn't look like it. It's going to be a massive save by Bobrovsky. Now it's all on Tampa. Travis Konecny is going to be the next shooter here. If he can score for the Tampa Bay Lightning, that would be huge. And what's he going to do here? He's going to go for the one-handed tuck, but Lucas Dostal is going to say no. We've reached the point where it's basically next goal wins here. Charlie McAvoy is going to be our next shooter up. He's going to the backhand, but Bobrovsky's saying no. A pretty basic save for him, but now it's all on Kopitar. If Kopitar can score here, Tampa Bay wins. If not, we're off to the 4th round. Anze Kopitar going to the backhand. Lucas Dostal is going to be right there. We're off to round number 4. So here goes round number 4. Trevor Zegras. Can he answer here? No, he cannot. Bobrovsky, another routine save. You got to challenge this man a little bit. But one guy that will certainly challenge the goaltender, John Tavares, is shooting next. Lucas Dostal, what are you going to do? A big blocker save right there. Round number 5 is coming up. And it looks like we got the young star from the LA Kings. Brant Clark's going to be our next shooter here. But once again, Bobrovsky's going to be shutting the door. So Jonathan Huberdeau, can you be the answer here? It doesn't look like it. It's going to be a save from Lucas Dostal. And now we have round number 6. These teams just keep going back and forth. Somebody's eventually got to be the answer. And is that player going to be Cam York, bringing the puck in, going to the backhand once again? At this point, almost every shooter has gone to the backhand. If you just stick with the forehand, the goaltender's probably not going to expect it. And Claude Giroux, you got to put a bit more on that one. That was a weak shot right there. But it looks like we're in round number 7. Mason McTavish, what are you going to do? What a surprise. He went to the backhand. Every shooter goes to the backhand. So Drew Doughty, are you going to go to the backhand here? That's my guess. But it doesn't look like it. You're going to stick with the forehand, but Lucas Dostal continues to make these big saves. So we know for a fact Ross Colton's going to take a backhanded shot here. No, he isn't. He's going to surprise Bobrovsky. What did I say? If you don't go with the backhand, you're going to surprise the goaltender, and that's exactly what Ross Colton's doing here. But can Lucas Dostal make the big save? That's the real question. So it all comes down to this. Can Lucas Dostal make one more save? Zach Greinke's bringing the puck in. He's going to go to the backhand, but Lucas Dostal's glove's going to be right there. He's making the big save, and the LA Kings are making the remarkable comeback. They're going to be stealing this game away, and they're surviving another day in NHL imperialism. Tampa Bay's falling. Who saw that coming? So what a remarkable win from the LA Kings there. I never would have expected they would have stole that one away from Tampa. Tampa choked in the big time moments. That should have been an easy victory for them, but instead they're going to be falling in NHL Imperialism. What a terrible loss for them. They should have had that. That should have been an easy win. Instead, they're going to be eliminated. So what a game we just witnessed. Who would have had the LA Kings making that comeback? Absolutely ridiculous. But the LA Kings, we might see them again here. The Edmonton Oilers are on the attack next. Now, there's a handful of free states the Edmonton Oilers would have to get through, but it doesn't mean it's impossible. They're heading directly south to start us off. So here's what directly south is going to be giving the Edmonton Oilers. It's going to be giving them this free state right here, but that's just the beginning of their arrow spins. So we got arrow spin number 2 for the Edmonton Oilers. Are they going to be heading south again? Yes, they are, but they're going to be heading southeast this time. But similar to that last spin, it's just going to result in another free state. So we're just going to keep on spinning this arrow until we get into a matchup here. And once again, we're heading south. We're getting close to LA. The wild thing is, LA actually isn't the only option. They could take on Detroit. They just have to head east. But for some reason, this team keeps on heading south. They want to take on the LA Kings, and I think that's finally going to be happening. But maybe not, because directly south would have Edmonton going right here. However, they headed slightly east in the process. I think they're getting another free state here. Edmonton's getting lucky. They're avoiding that matchup right there with another free state, but it still could happen. Like at this point, I think Edmonton just wants to take on LA. They keep on heading south. Yep, they want LA. They want all that smoke. So the LA Kings made that massive comeback. And is that momentum going to continue? While Sidney Crosby and Philip Forsberg are picking up goals in the first period, I can only assume Alexander Ovechkin's going to find the back of the net eventually. Trevor Zegras is going to score in the second period. So is LA going to make that big comeback? Well, Ovechkin's going to score in the third period. We all knew he would eventually find the back of the net here. But LA can certainly make this comeback. We've seen them do it before, and they're sparking that comeback right now. But Jonathan Drouin's going to be scoring a power play goal here. And time's definitely not on the Kings side anymore. Last time they made that comeback, they had a lot of time to work with. Not anymore. We've entered the final minute of play here, and the LA Kings are finally going to be folding. They just didn't have an answer for the elite offense of the Edmonton Oilers. And when I say elite offense, I'm talking about that first line. Everyone on that first line scored a goal here. Ovechkin, Crosby, Forsberg, it's unstoppable right now. So the LA Kings had an incredible Cinderella story, but it's finally going to be collapsing here. They're going to be falling to the Edmonton Oilers, who own 90% of the land so far. I'm giving them all those free states. They own all the land around it, so it only makes sense. So it's Edmonton, Detroit, New York. We have 3 teams left here. It all comes down to 2 more matchups. So this is a big spin right here. If we land on the New York Rangers, they're going to be taking on the Red Wings because they're surrounded by Red Wings territory. However, now that the Red Wings are attacking, it's a little interesting, because the Red Wings have 2 teams that they could potentially take on here, but it's going to be the Edmonton Oilers. That can't be made more clear. But you know what? Sometimes Stick on the Ice is just yapping and he doesn't know what he's talking about, because technically there was one more free state near Detroit and they're going to be stealing that one. So they're going to get another spin here and maybe they will take on the Rangers. So Detroit might have pulled out a miracle, but is it going to work out for them? Not really. They're still taking on Edmonton. So after this matchup right here, we know who's going to be in the final. Josh Norris is picking up the first goal. It looks like somebody's finally found an answer for Edmonton's offense. Kyle Connor's picking up the second goal of the game, but Luke Hughes is going to be responding. We have a close game entering the third period. It's only a matter of time before Edmonton's offense gets going though, and once it does, it might be over for Detroit. Logan O'Connor is going to find the back of that. That's not Sidney Crosby. That's not Philip Forsberg. That's not Alexander Ovechkin. It's only a matter of time before one of those guys scores. Caden Lindstrom's even find the back of the net. Everybody but the top players for Edmonton are scoring right now. The depth is insane right now, and it makes no sense. I would have never expected Edmonton's depth to be the big thing helping them win games, but apparently it is. Detroit couldn't score on their 5-minute power play. I don't know what this team is doing, but they did just score right there. 2 minutes left. Max Domi, a huge goal. Is Edmonton going to be falling here? They could have made to the final, but the big time players aren't showing up. It all comes down to the next 2 minutes. So Edmonton hasn't been able to sustain any pressure, but you know what? Things might be changing right here. Alexander Ovechkin, a weak backhander to the net. They got to pull the goaltender, and they finally do so, but they're pulling it at the worst time. They don't even have control of the puck in the offensive zone here. There's a puck loose towards the net, but Sorokin's going to cover it up. 37.4 seconds left. I think that's enough time for Edmonton's top players. Alexander Ovechkin, Sidney Crosby, Philip Forsberg, of course. The big 3 has to be out there in a situation like this. They're going to win the face-off. And what are they doing? Edmonton is folding right now. They are purposely trying to lose this game. Ethan Bear's out there. He's not making the right play. Detroit's collecting it behind the net, and they're going to waste some time here. But it looks like they're going to break it out. Josh Norris, a chance to win this game right here. He's electing for the pass, but Capo Caco's offside. He had the game on his stick. If only he stayed onside, he would have ended this one. Because of that, though, Edmonton is going to get one last chance here, but they got to win the face-off, and they're not doing that. Lindholm's bringing the puck in. Never mind, Capo's wasting time here, and that's all Detroit's going to have to do. They're just going to waste time. But you know what? They're going to turn over Alexander Ovechkin, one last chance. He's going to send over to Luke Hughes. Luke Hughes taking the shot. Sorokin's covering it up, but never mind. This game's over. Lindholm's going to get the puck out, and just like that, the Detroit Red Wings are coming out on top. The Red Wings are taking down the heavily favored Edmonton Oilers. The offense from the Big Three just disappeared in the most important game, and now we got our final. It's the Red Wings taking on the Rangers. So in the most important game, the Edmonton Oilers are folding, and we got our final. It's the Red Wings taking on the New York Rangers. Based on how much land the Detroit Red Wings own, I think it's safe to say they're the clear favorite, but it all comes down to one game. So the final's been settled. Here are the two teams making it. Kyle Connor with the Detroit Red Wings, Logan Stankoven, Brian Rust, Capo, Lindholm, and Josh Norris. I questioned this team a little bit, but you know what? They've shown up in the most important games, and why has that been? The elite defense, Shea Theodore, Seth Jones, Brady Shea, Hampus Lindholm. Defense has been the big difference maker, especially with Sorokin in between the pipes. The Red Wings are a pretty balanced team. Now let's go take a look at the Rangers one last time. Now the Rangers, of course, are led by superstars Connor McMichael, Tommy Novak, Jake Neighbors. They also got William Nylander and Sebastian Aho, which helps a lot. Looking at the defense, you got Shane Gostisbehere, you got Dougie Hamilton, you have David Reinbacher on the third pairing, but who do you have in between the pipes? Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. I'm going to be honest, I feel like the only reason this team is made as far as they have is because they haven't really had to match up against anybody, but things change right now. The New York Rangers are going to be our attacking team, considering they're the only team left on the wheel here, so they're going to be taking on the Red Wings. It's one of the first games in the season. New York versus Detroit. It all comes down to one game. So here we go, the final for NHL Imperialism. Who is drafting the best team here? Detroit's picking up the first goal. It's going to be Brian Rust. In the second period, Detroit's going to double down. They're picking up back-to-back goals, but William Nylander, with 3 seconds left in the period, is picking up a massive one, and maybe that's going to spark something for the Rangers. Maybe they can make the comeback. It all comes down to the third period. 20 minutes is going to decide this game. Who's going to show up when it matters most? And you know what? It looks like it's been the Detroit Red Wings so far. They've been elite defensively. They gave the Rangers a 5-minute power play, but they just couldn't capitalize. There's a minute 11 left in this game. Detroit, all you have to do is win one more. Hold on for 1 minute and 11 seconds, and you're NHL Imperialism champions. So the Rangers have been stuck in the defensive zone. They haven't been able to pull the goaltender. They finally do so. And Jack Roslovic, a massive goal here. Just a few seconds left in this game. I think they got 40 seconds left to work with, but that's a massive goal right there. And the Rangers aren't done yet. But Jack Roslovic, what a massive goal, just teeing one up. He's going to beat Sorokin, and the Rangers still have time. And here goes the goal scorer, Jack Roslovic. He's pushing right now. He's looking to dish it off. He's not going to be able to complete the pass, and this game might be over. Shea Theodore over to Kyle Connor, over to Brian Rust, but they can't get the shot towards the net. Here goes William Nylander. 8 seconds left in the game, up to Jack Roslovic. He's looking to score one more time here, but he's not going to get a shot off. They're throwing it towards the net. William Nylander, a last-second shot's not going to be enough, and just like that, the Detroit Red Wings, not only did they just win that game, but they're NHL Imperialism champions. Stevie Y, the best GM in the league, because he drafted this team right here, and by drafting this team through the fantasy draft, he's winning them NHL Imperialism. Never doubt Stevie Y. You gotta trust in the Iser plan. Bro's cooking. You just got to give it a couple more years. Just wait till Axel Sedin-Pellikka joins the team, then it's over. And with that win right there, the Detroit Red Wings now own all the territory in NHL Imperialism. They have claimed absolutely everybody, and now the world is red. Red for the Red Wings. They've accomplished the impossible here.